Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
He's saying that if someone gets in front of my car, I'm going to run them over. And I have Molotov cocktails and bricks to plant on the victim after I run them over to look like they were going to threaten me with a Molotov cocktail or a brick. That's the part that's illegal.
Okay. I didn't know that part.
He put an LOL after
King's protest.
Wow.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show. Live from Tampa, Florida is where we originate from. Myself, Lummox, Dr. Dan Diaco, Seth Kushner, and Macho Man. Well, the Macho Man. His real name is, we never even say Macho Man's real name, but his real name's Andy.
I know. I did. Andy, like, who's Andy?
I don't know. Andy's Macho Man. Welcome. It's Tuesday, June 17th. The Bubba the Love Sponge show. I was trying. I'm going to open up with. I was telling Kushner a couple days ago. Now, see, I've been a Pacer fan, except from when Larry Bird played for the Celtics, because Larry's a friend of mine, and everybody that grew up in Indiana was a big Bird fan, so you followed him to Boston. You were a Boston fan. Then he came back to Indiana. The Indiana Pacers end up being the coach. He's the last coach to take them to the finals against Los Angeles. I think they lose in. I think they lost in 6. But this is only the second time the organization has been to the finals. It's looking like they're going to have the same outcome. I've been a Pacer fan, for a long time. And Seth he said a few years ago, started being kind of an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. And so even when
him and 6 other people in the whole country.
Well, so anyway, I told him yesterday, I knew after watching the Pacers in game 4 that the Pacers were too reliant upon the 3-ball, and they do as well as Halliburton does. Like, if Halliburton's not having a good game, they're done. So I turned to Kushner yesterday and said, Oklahoma City's going to kill the Pacers. Well, that's exactly what happened. 120-109, Oklahoma City, and that one guy, I guess you can't call him the one guy, the MVP of the league. You know what? I'm a Pacer fan, but I genuinely enjoy good players. That guy's fun to watch. That guy.
You should get his jersey.
He is. Well, if they made XXX, maybe. But where's he from? Where'd he play college ball at?
Kentucky, and he's from Canada.
Oh, he's from Canada?
Yeah.
Canada.
He is so smooth, and he's the only person that I've ever seen that has a Michael Jordan-like jump back, fade away, mid-range. So, like, he'll roll up, and he'll jump at the free throw line, but he floats back to like the top of the key, releases the ball, and it goes in, and it's unguardable. Like, you can't guard it because where he starts his jump, he doesn't. That's not where he ends up. He floats back.
It's a fadeaway?
Oh, my God. He had 31 last night, and guess how many Halliburton had? 4.
Oof.
Oh, my
The
God.
number one guy. Seth, weren't you saying early on that people were saying he was kind of flashy with regards to like hot and cold, and that was kind of the rap on him going into the finals? Halliburton?
Yeah. I mean, he's not. He doesn't necessarily score 30 points every single night. He
could.
He's hurt now. So
Is he hurt?
Oh yeah.
Well, mentally, he's got to be, suicidal.
So the
Anyway.
Canadian kid, is he like really nice in interviews?
Oh, he's super, he's super.
Because Canadians are really nice people.
He's a great guy. He's good looking. He's young. He's well spoken, and he is just. You got to think about how many good ball players are in the NBA, and for him to be the MVP. I mean, you got the Luka guy. You got the guy from Denver. Was it Jovac?
Yeah, the Joker.
You got the Joker. You got, the kid from the Knicks. There's just so many good players. And for you to be the league MVP, it says a lot. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan. I'm not flipping over and pulling for Indiana has to win 2 in a row. Game 6 goes back to Indiana. Will that be Thursday or Friday? Will they do another 3-day deal, Seth, and make it Friday?
I think it is set for Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. So anyway, look for the Oklahoma City Thunder to close it out on Thursday. I don't know.
Wow.
Pacers
Is that at Oklahoma or is it at?
It's at Indiana. But here's the deal. But here's the deal. The Pacers are so reliant upon the 3 ball. They don't get any in the point in the paint.
No penetration.
So what's wrong with Tyrese? Like, when you said he's hurt? What is he? What's he?
It looked like his knee or hamstring or something.
Is this a thing from last night?
I guess he had the injury and then it got aggravated last night. He kind of slipped when he was driving. And, he was more of a decoy on the court.
I mean, if you look, the team stats tell it all. Field goal percentage practically the same. Free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, 36 to 48. Here's the key. Here's the 2 stats that tell you can go to any game. The first 2 stats really don't matter. These are the 2 stats that matter: turnovers and rebounds.
Yeah.
23 turnovers. You're never going to win that ball game.
Ouch.
Done. Our not to get too hyper local, but our Tampa Bay Rays won 7-3 in the last 10. Only 2 or 2.5 games behind New York. Went into the Mets this past weekend. I think the Mets had the best home game winning percentage in the league. Did they take all 3?
They swept
They sure
them.
did. After they just whipped Detroit's ass.
First time, and didn't Detroit have the best record in baseball?
At the time, I think they did.
And so the Rays won last night, and I think they're 2 or 2.5.
2.5 games back.
Yeah, but I think they're 2 or 2.5 ahead in the wild card.
Oh yes, yeah, but 2.5 back of the Yankees, who are struggling against the Red Sox.
This released a couple days ago, and that is the city of St. Pete has agreed now. They're making the $5 million down payment on the $56 million repair. So it looks like the Rays will play at Tropicana Field next year, 26 and 27. Then their lease after 27, they're free to go. They're free to go anywhere they want. That's why if we want to keep these guys around here, which I think we do. I mean, I know I do.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely do.
I mean,
we definitely want to. There's no reason to get rid of them.
I mean, it kind of makes your city look like a loser when you lose your a sports. No, I mean, if we lose indoor football, who cares? I'm just saying. But when you lose, I mean, you got the big sexy franchises, and that would be, of course, maybe in this order as far as sexiness: National Football League, NFL, probably would you say, Seth, NBA over Major League Baseball over hockey?
No, I think
Baseball.
I think baseball's there. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
it's number two.
Major League Baseball number 2. Then you got probably NBA number 3, and then probably NHL number 4.
I think so.
Those are the big boys. So you arguably have the second sexiest, sanctioning body. It sucks when a team loses, a Major League Baseball team.
It's objectively bad for the city. They lose money.
Well,
they absolutely lose income.
Here's the only way we're going to be able to keep the Tampa Bay Rays. First of all, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, they're named the Tampa Bay Rays, but they play in crappy-ass St. Pete. Now, that's not a knock on the city of St. Pete.
But you know St. Pete's part of the Bay.
Well, hold on.
Whatever. But it might as well be the St. Pete Squids. No one sees them.
Here's the deal. Listen, St. Pete as a city is actually a better city than Tampa.
Yes.
But you guys know that they're not even selling out their 10,000 seat stadium this year in Tampa.
Well, because the stadium sucks. It's a minor league facility, and hold on. I don't mean it for April and Lummy, all the people that work for the Tampa Tarpons to take this wrong.
It's a nice minor league facility, but it's still a minor league facility.
With regards to minor league facilities, it's the best. It's the best.
But everybody wanted the stadium in Tampa. Everybody wanted an outdoor stadium, and now we have it, and they're pulling 8,000 people a night.
Yeah, but
what is that? That's not new stadium worthy.
You build it like 28.5, and and it'll sell out most nights. You put it right there by where One Buck Place is, and where the old Tampa Bay Mall used to be. Then you can use the Tampa Bay Buccaneers parking lot and all the parking lot infrastructure. You don't got to build any of that. I mean, you don't have to pave all miles and miles and miles worth of places for people to park, and you put it right there. And I think, Lummy, you try to change ownership.
Yes.
Now somebody said the guy that owns what was it, Lummy, Gasworks?
Yeah, Gasworks and the Tampa Bay Sun.
The guy that owns the younger dude that owns Gasworks was trying to put together an ownership deal here in Tampa to buy the Rays. Now you know that John Morgan and Barry Larkin, and there's an ownership already in place in Orlando that wants to take them.
Meanwhile, he's not selling.
No, you don't think so?
He's not selling.
It's a gold mine. Why would he sell?
No, he bought it for like what, $68 million, something like that.
Yeah, the story currently is that if he needs to stop being a dick about getting a new stadium in this area, and they said that Rob Manfred, the commissioner, might step in and try to get him to sell if they can't figure something out.
Manfred may say this, Seth. Here's the deal, Stu Stuenberg. You're going to either pitch in your part to build this stadium like almost every other owner does, or I'm not allowing you to move this team. Because that all's, I think, Seth, that's all based on the commissioner has to approve that. Like, if Stu Stuenberg would, get Nashville or Charlotte or some of these other cities that they've proposed, that inevitably goes through Manfred, the commissioner.
Absolutely.
He's like yay or nay. So I think he's going to tell Stu Stuenberg, you got 3 options. You got to participate in the building of a new facility. You just can't get it for free. Or you have to sell the team to a local ownership that's going to keep the team in Tampa Bay, because I'm not going to allow you to relocate this team, other than, St. Pete to Tampa. You have to keep it in the region. And I don't care what kind of deal you got or whatever, but, you got to stop being a tight ass and participate somewhat in the building of this. And I think he was only on the hook for like, I don't mean to make, but like 700 million. And
half of it.
Yeah, which is what, a lot of owners, that's kind of the template of a team is you usually pay for half of it. The city pays, or the county, or
There's a split. There's always a split.
Yeah, there always is a split.
But Bubba, I think though that at this point the Rays have been in Tampa Bay long enough that it's become generational. Like when the Rays first got here 20 years ago or so, Those people, the kids are now adults. They have kids. They're bringing their kids. When baseball becomes sort of a generational tradition in a community, I think the traction to the team gets better. And that's why, a lot of new teams in a new town struggle for a while, because the community isn't in the sort of like the ritualistic habit of going to those games. I think now that it's in Tampa, it's easier. It's helping. But again, when they were, because of the summer rains,
it takes more than 1 year.
It takes more than a year.
It takes more than a year.
It takes
to
a decade.
to build your Tampa base back. You lost all of your Tampa base by putting it in South St. Pete.
It hurt the Tampa base, absolutely. And another thing that's hurt the Rays for fans, and correct me, Seth, if I'm wrong, is that for the last 15 years, as soon as you fall in love with a player, they trade him.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get a jersey because next year he's not going to be there.
Well,
they're going to get
deal.
rid of him and get some young guy you've never heard of. That's going to be good, but still, that turnover.
The Rays are actually smart because they keep a guy locked up as long as they can. And then when he's an unrestricted free agent and he can, like the B.J. Uptons and the Carl Crawfords.
They're like, bye-bye.
And you can't compete with that $30 million, now $40 million deal that superstars. So you develop a superstar and you keep his rights as long as you can. And then it's bye-bye. Because we're not a big enough market to keep some of these $30 and $40 million guys.
Well, the last time the Rays paid a guy $180 million, that turned out to be Wander Franco.
Now, you know what?
Who's in jail for marrying a 14-year-old.
He actually has a court date today. He's in court as we speak.
So they are willing to dole out the money, but to whom is really the sketchy
they haven't
point.
struck rich on that.
Yeah. Here's a story that I guess the city of, we know for a fact now that the Rays will play 26 and 27 at the Trop. We don't know anything past that. And this was a big whodunit, whether this was going to get done or not. And it finally got approved, I think, last week.
Hurricane Milton ripped the roof off. City officials are legally
$56 million
required to make it playable.
I'm so glad
for
the insurance companies take it in the A-frame for this one because they screwed everybody else.
But the price keeps going up. Fox 13's Evan Exelbake is live in St. Pete, where the city council approved $5 million more today on fixes meant to prevent water damage.
They just need to be standard Florida white trash where you go to Home Depot and buy those blue tarps.
Oh, yeah.
And put them over the top,
exactly.
right? With blue tarps with bungee cords. Gene Lasker and his crew could have that thing fixed in a week.
Let's do it.
I'm just telling you right now.
Evan.
Yeah, and the big problem is right now, well, not right now, but in general, during these months, you have tons of water getting into a stadium that was not built to handle it, and so keeping it clean is an expensive proposition. If you're looking for enthusiasm, you've come to the wrong place.
I wish I could say I look forward to seeing you again, but boy, this is expensive.
City councilors heard from city staff that while the project is still on budget, $5 million of the predicted $56 million needed to be approved today. They promised, though, that work was already well underway.
They've removed all the damaged materials, damaged ceiling tiles, carpet, drywall. They've built containment systems, protection systems. They've tarp seating. They monitor everything.
Now they just need under $2 million for daily rain removal by dozens of contractors and for 5,000 ceiling tiles. They also need $2.5 million to fix damaged walls and just under $1 million to pay for security.
It wasn't my choice, but I see that we're together as a city to do this. So.
I mean, we need to start a Bubba Hut security company and say, listen, we'll do it for $500,000. Just put, a couple of our friends out there with guns.
We got Gene Lasker and the boys down there.
There today.
The main problem.
Yeah, just make it the new outlaw biker clubhouse.
Nothing's going to happen bad. Well, bad to the stadium.
The problem is that the roof is not going to be installed until December, which means 6 months of continually mitigating damage from rain. Officials believe it can all be done in time for the Rays to play home games there early in the 2026
they got all the lights wrapped up.
Season. Even though the Rays must again decide where to build a new ballpark under the Trop lease, the city has to make a good faith effort to give the Rays a place to play.
Anyone who's ever bought an older house, you don't know until you get into it exactly what you have to do.
The other question mark is what hurricane season will bring.
Let's not forget, we got to go through another hurricane season, which has just started. Right.
Unfortunately, those high winds will blow right through that framework.
Yeah, that's true. But the wind and the rain. But it looks like they've buttoned everything up.
From a new storm would make it almost inconceivable that they could get the ballpark done in time, adding questions of cost and also of baseball. Where would the Rays play the beginning of 2026 if not for their old roofless barn?
We are tracking everything that we've estimated so far. We're tracking below what the costs have come in so far.
Good.
Good.
Thanks, buddy. Sit on down.
Why don't they just make it an open stadium?
They can't because
they can't because
they can't drain the water.
Because of they can't drain the water, and most of the infrastructure that they have salvaged is not made to be outdoor.
Trending in the right path.
And councilors have already approved $20 million to fix the roof. It's being assembled overseas and is going to be brought over and installed.
Oh, it's coming to China. It's going to have one hell of a tariff.
Here in December, Linda.
Whew, Evan, let's hope we don't have any more big storms. All right.
What's that?
With the 50% tariff, it's going to be $75 million.
Don't you think that if you go to a museum and you break something or you damage something, that I think when you walk into a museum, I know that I've been to a few, but they have signs everywhere that says "Do not touch," and the Mona Lisa's behind a thing of glass or some plexiglass covering, and this fat ass. I guess this was a chair that was coated with Swarovski crystals or something like that.
Swarovski, yeah.
And this fat ass decides to sit on it and breaks it. And so this is him. This is a chair that's covered in crystals, and he decides to sit on it. That's his wife. That shows a picture of his wife sitting on it. Then this guy's not putting all of his pressure. A couple were caught as they broke a piece of art when a man sat on a crystal-coated chair. Is this somewhere in France or Italy? It's in Italy. It's in Verona, Italy. And so he decides to put a little more weight on it. It's a crystal, and then now it's broken.
Oh man!
Well, it's a chair. Does it say "Do not sit"? I mean, people are going to sit on a chair.
I think Dan,
it's art. It's unspoken.
Footage from the museum shows the pair quickly leaving the room as the chair collapsed underneath the man.
So it's not like I thought. Originally, the guy picked up the chair and smashed it.
What does
like
it say right here? What does it? What does it say?
It's probably the history of the chair, which now they have to add on a few extra lines of why it's swaying to the right. I heard they already fixed it, but I don't know.
There it is. That's beautiful. I mean, Dan, it gives you an idea for your new decor.
Right, but why would it break?
Well, it broke because it was probably made out of the chair itself was probably very cheap, IKEA type, stuff.
Why would you crystal up a cheap chair?
Dan, because it's like saying, why would a guy pin a banana on a wall and call that art, and that guy make $3 million for it? Art is in the eye of the beholder. And
could you use one of these, Dan?
Oh, I could always use a sparkly chair.
Only thing
it make you feel special.
The only thing I would do with this chair, though, man, instead of making it all crystals, is I would put red rubies and I'd put red rubies on that rung, and then some red rubies down here.
But this isn't painting in your underwear in your trailer, okay? This is real high class Italian artwork.
It's stupid. And I'm sure they already fixed it, and I'm sure it's no big deal.
Is it real crystals?
Well, the Swarovski crystals are real crystals. They're just not diamonds. It's it's sparkly.
Did you guys ever remember the fad where girls would take their iPhones and have Heather, my first wife? There was this woman in Bel Air that was the best, but it was literally $400.
What? Yep.
You remember all the chicks that all the chicks that were part of the cool club, and that your husband had a little bit of money. You'd take your phone to this girl in Bel Air, and she would completely put Swarovski or some type of crystals on it, maybe put your initials on the back, and it was let me Google cell phone crystals.
And that's before we had wireless charging, because that destroys it. But they were huge back in the day. No one does it anymore.
Nobody. Well, I think the younger generation may. I think it might be making a comeback.
Yeah, nobody's decking their phone out with jewels or bedazzling it at all.
Back then, that's when you kept a phone for like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
How often do you guys? I can't. I keep my phone for as long as I can.
Well, I keep mine until it starts messing up, or I lose it, or it gets destroyed, and it usually lasts. Usually it's about 2 years.
I think I've had this phone for maybe 2, maybe going on 3. I try to keep a phone as long as I can because the technology of what phones, there's better quality pictures, they shoot better videos. None of that means anything to me.
You don't do content.
I mean, I do content, but
I know you do.
I do content, but I don't think that my content. I think the content speaks is more important than the quality.
Well, I think you're also your iPhone has a minimal of high def, and so you still at least have high def, and so you can be super high def, but you at least can shoot high def.
Did you find any of those phones?
I sent you one.
You did?
Yeah, and I'm holding out for the T1 phone when it comes out.
The T1,
the Trump
T1 phone. Yeah, the gold one.
Yeah, this is kind of.
That's like it.
$13.
Yeah, but this is cheap.
In the old days, it would be like really big crystals.
I'm having trouble finding those ones.
Really
online.
elaborate. Really, it was kind of more like
that one right there. You just right
here.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of more like that with pink and whatever. Well, hold on. This is
$225.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Swarovski's.
That's $225. That's kind of like what
I want that in the chair.
Heather would get, like something like that with a big H on it and everything. Like I remember one time.
Today that'd be like $400.
The girl who she lived in Bel Air and she didn't live that far from Hogan. And sometimes Heather would call me when I was over at Hogan's and it's like, listen, can you run by and pick up my phone because the Crystal Girls is done with it. And I'm like, we didn't have PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle back then. Talking, circa 06.
So you had to put that money in her panties.
So I had to go and I'm like, how much is it? And she's, it's $450. Like, $450.
Bust out that black card, big boy.
Well, the woman didn't take black cards. I did have one.
What a hoe.
So I had to go I would have to go to the to the ATM, get out $500
in 20s,
pull up to the girl. She'd come out. She lived like in a very unassuming, like not a real expensive place, like almost maybe even an apartment complex around there somewhere. And she'd come run out, give you the phone like in a little paper bag, and you give her the cash. It literally looked like a drug deal.
Yeah. Was there a couple an ounce of pot in there too?
No, there was nothing in there. Let me is it me, or does it seem like every day they're calling for a P. Diddy mistrial?
Oh, every day.
Every day. Diddy trial. If you dismissed that black juror, I want a mistrial. So I guess there was a black juror that the judge called into his chambers for
a little sit on judge's lap time.
Like Santa Claus.
Little judge story time.
Tell me what you want for the 4th of July.
Tell Daddy about your deliberations.
Yeah. So I guess there was an African American a black guy that was pulled into the judge's chambers because he gave some inconsistent answers on his jury form or something like that.
Yeah, but that was like weeks ago.
Here we go.
The judge has officially decided that juror number 6 will be removed. Or did he? The judge had already brought in this juror to the robing room to question him.
Robing room. That even sounds kind of hot, doesn't it, Seth? Hey, Seth, want to meet me in the robing room, buddy?
Ooh. Hell no,
and
rapist.
He said, during the break, he looked at the transcripts from the robing room, and he looked at transcripts from when they were selecting this juror. This is when the judge noticed inconsistencies about his living situation. Initially, he said he lived with his girlfriend who lives in New Jersey. And in the robing room, he said his daughter lived in New Jersey and he in the Bronx with his aunt. He had also told the court that he stays in the Bronx from 4 to 5 days a week. The judge goes on to say the court does not feel further inquiry is required. The reason we have alternate jurors is if questions arise.
Dan, could something be that nitpicky where you kind of are flim-flammy on where you live? And here's the deal. If I'm P. Diddy, I mean, maybe if I'm the prosecution, I ask for this guy to get me removed. But if I'm P. Diddy, I guess that's why it says P. Diddy's going to call for a mistrial, because P. Diddy probably wants that guy on the jury.
The best juror for Diddy would be a black guy,
right? An African American.
A black guy is going to be the most sympathetic to him,
right?
There's a question like this: removal of the juror is required. The juror will be dismissed. He should not return on Monday. Diddy's attorney pushed back, saying it's very common to have a girlfriend in New Jersey or vice versa. He should have been allowed to explain. Diddy's attorney goes on to say, I'm concerned that the court is equating inconsistencies with lying or hiding something from the court. If you bring him out here, we can come to some sort of understanding. He has come here every day. I've been in this court 25 or 30 years. There have been issues with representation of African American and Hispanic jurors in this district. We've taken a step with this jury. Now we're talking a step backward. Some say black and Hispanic jurors don't answer the call. He did. The prosecutor responded saying that Diddy's attorney is suggesting this is about race, but the focus here is the integrity of the proceeding. The alternates have also been showing up on time. The judge then explains.
You know what sucks? No, I've never been on a jury trial. I've never been in a jury. I've had 4 jury trials against me. I've been on trial 4 times with a jury as a person. But I've been called to jury duty. I've been called to jury duty probably 4 times. And I literally just call them and say, hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. And they're like, don't even worry about showing up. But here's the deal. In the 4 trials that I've had where I've been on trial, the alternates, they sit there for the entire trial. And then when the trial is done, if there hasn't been any funny business where one has to be removed or nothing like that, they dismiss the alternate jurors when they go to deliberate. They dismiss them, so they had to sit there for nothing. That would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Voir he said, I live in the Bronx with my fiance and daughter. There's no reason to lie but to try to get onto the jury. He goes on to say that he said he just moved to New Jersey, adding that his daughter had been living in New Jersey. He said,
boy, Dan, if you come up with just any little fib or any little effery, they're going to find out, are they not? Especially on something this high profile. And I mean, this isn't, This is cutthroat. Any little thing.
My bills go to the Bronx. It's that he wanted to be on the jury. After the break, he says a
guy that wants to be on the jury is a guy that knows when this is done, you can cut a hell of a deal. Because, Dan, I don't think the judge can stop the jury from talking to the media or writing a book or appearing on TMZ
afterwards.
When it's all said and done and the gavel has fallen down, even before sentencing, after they've come up with their verdict and they've been released by the judge of their duty, they can go right out to ABC or they can go right to CBS and cut a 60-minute deal. Can they not?
Actually,
the only one they can't though is the one that the criminal can't profit from the crime.
Yeah,
they can't write a book to about their crime if they're found guilty.
Right. If you remember, the Menendez brothers, part of their sentencing was if any profits or proceeds they would make from this story
would go to the victims.
Would go to the victims.
His time in the Bronx, which is flat inconsistent with what he had previously said. The juror is shading answers to stay on the jury, which is why
this guy wants to stay on the jury because there's big money on being a juror here.
Well, for your book, juror number 6.
Yeah. Well, the eyes of the P. Diddy trial from juror 6. Simon & Schuster give you $1 million signing bonus just for that book.
The right thing to do is to move to the alternate. There continues to be a back and forth, and then the judge told everybody to clear the room except for the attorneys. So at this point, we have no idea what's being said. The judge clearly made a decision, but Diddy's attorneys pushed back, and with no one there to report on it, we don't really know what's going to happen. Whether it gets announced today or Monday morning.
So, Lummy, I think this is 2 days old.
Yes.
I don't know what the ruling was yesterday. Will you try to find it?
I'll try to find it.
When I come back, we'll try to find that. But, Dan, boy, are you going to be happy on our latest product.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, look at this, buddy.
Oh, I love it.
It fits 9 It fits 9 cans, so you could you could take like a 9-pack. It fits, not to mention substitute cans for sandwiches and anything else you want to keep cold. There's the inside my new soft-sided Bubba Army cooler / lunchbox fits 9 cans, a cooling, ice or a cooling thing. And then on either side, you can put cans. And then there's a front pouch. You can go to Bub Army store, Bub Army merch, Bub Army shop, and let me only $23.99.
That's awesome. Deal down Plaisir, $20.
Thank you, my friend. I'll show you my new Bubba Army soft-sided cooler / lunchbox, and let me. Hopefully, you'll get me that juror information next.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Did you include
Seth? You going to the bathroom?
Yeah, we're on it.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on, yeah.
Is that Rumble?
Yeah, he's been blocked out.
Who said what? Who am I looking for?
Oh.
You sent me so much. You're gonna have to fucking spoon feed me on this.
I gotta go spoon feed the plants outside.
Can I feed?
Welcome to being a public figure.
Yeah, well, in that kind of fucking mood. Although it really wasn't, because I walked in here in a great mood. I did walk in here in a great mood. Just for the record. Yeah, I got no voicemails.
I mean, did you get the jury thing?
He's not in the room.
Oh.
But I'm sure you got it.
Well, he was dismissed.
Did they ultimately dismiss him?
Yep, right here it is.
Juror number 6.
Well, if you lie, you lie. What's up, Group Lips? CC Hall, good morning.
What's up, Rumble?
Yinzer, Grumpy. Big
We need a
Buck,
big day. We need a big day.
Gang Gene.
Are you telling us or them?
Robert Stevens, Oshak, Yankee Jib. Fuck you. 305. Chad, Yinzer.
I'm ready to talk to Charlie again.
Grumpy Old Biker. Holyoke. Dan Wolfgang. What's up, Leo? Scott Weber, T. Barrington, James.
Let me make sure you get a hold of our new rep and say, tell him thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. What's up, Shovel Up Spice, Scott?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So, even Dr. Dan, by the way, the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, 813-90 Bubba. We're one of the very few shows that can take phone calls. Don't abuse that right.
What's Sun Short?
Sun Short.
Someone said ask you about Sun Short.
Obviously, somebody has maybe misspelled something because I don't know what Sun Short means. So anyway, Lummy, 813-90 Bubba, if you'd like to call us. I will tell you this, that we do a large our merchandising department does well. Wait to those switchblade retractable. I guess you can't use switchblade. That's kind of illegal.
Yeah, a switchblade doesn't do that.
No, this is an unbelievable retractable badass knife, and Mark from Tarpon first showed it to me at BARP. Now we had a Bubba Army knife that we offered, and I think we sold out, and we've been selling it out of everything. And so we have a new retractable Bubba Army knife. That's not what I'm showing you. That's not what came in yesterday. What came in? Remember, even Dr. Dan kind of carries. I don't know if you brought yours today or not, Dan.
I did. I bring it every day.
All right, so show us what you like every day. Dan brings.
Do you want me to grab it? It's in the fridge.
No. Well, yeah. Go.
Okay, it's in the kitchen. I meant.
Go get it real fast.
This is a new segment called "Show Us Your Lunchbox."
It's called "Show Us Your Lunchbox," and we're gonna show you one better.
Whoever has the worst one gets a brand new Bubba Army lunchbox to make all the gals on the worksite jealous.
All the gals on the worksite jealous. I got a PayPal deal from Kenneth Nelson. Quick question: what happened to Brent? Brent left the show and then went and did a couple other shows in California. Was the executive producer. I think this was like circa 2013, maybe 14 and 13.
13.
Then went and got a job with Howard and worked for Howard for I think 6 years, 5-6 years. As a segment producer, and I think he ran all the ancillary programs on 101. And then COVID hit, and they had New York just absolutely locked down, and he decided to come back to Florida where we were free. Born free.
You should Google that next time, sir.
What's that?
Where's Brent?
Oh, yeah. Google it. I don't know if he'll give you a better answer than I'm giving you. And then I think Brent does something with computer. I know he took a couple courses. He was in school for about a year, and then he's doing some kind of computer stuff. I see Brent probably every couple months. I just had lunch with Brent and Mark Tate about 2 months ago. So I actually, there's a standing offer to Brent to come back to the show at any time if Brent would like to be part of the show. But Brent, is like, I don't really I'd love to be on the air. I love it. I did it for a long time, but the trolls just are ruthless. They just kill Brent. They kill him. And so I think he's kind of over that. So that's the Brent deal. So Dan, show what even a big slinging D doctor like you carries a soft-sided lunchbox to keep your monsters, and because you can't always rely on the fact that we have monsters. We're feast or famine around here.
Yeah, I
so
like to have mine.
You bring yours. So show us.
It's right next to you, Bob. I left it by you.
Oh, okay.
It's right to your right.
So this is what Dan's got. Dan's got this little cooler right here.
And so I have some stuff in the front. I got some papers in the back. Sometimes I have my gun in it. It's got my stuff.
Right.
It's my stuff.
And how many cans?
5 or you can squeeze 6, but it's really made for 4 or 5.
Okay. So that's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. There's that's so here. It's so heavy because it's so jammed full.
Uh-oh.
The new Bubba Army soft-sided cooler. You can go to Bubba Army Store, Bubba Army Merch, or BubbaArmyShop.com and get them. And as you can see, it's got on one side, it's got like a little mesh thing where you could put any papers, or I decided to put a can of Aqua Beto. There's another side that's got like a mesh kind of deal. There's a front pouch
for your papers and
for
stuff.
your papers
or your gun.
I have a little cooling pack in there, and then you can fit. This one has 9 monsters in it.
Jesus.
I mean, the
monsters are bigger than a regular soda.
Yeah, I mean, and so
it probably holds 12 regulars.
So
let's see.
You could probably put a 12-pack in there, and it's got a cooling pad. One of those one of those freezer things. It's got a cooling pad along with 7 or 8 monster deals. And this is our new soft-sided Bubba. And then, of course, the Bubba Army logo. It's quite heavy because Merch Quick's got to absolutely load it up.
But those are great for like the beach or the boat. It's a perfect way because those giant coolers are heavy and most people don't need that.
Now listen,
football game. Like when my kids playing football,
yeah,
I'd bring that. And
that would
bust out a few
you
drinks.
could certainly jam enough stuff in for 2 people.
Oh yeah.
Now, not a family of 4, of course.
No.
But I mean,
you get over a football game maybe. But but it's again.
You can put ice in it. You can put like a cooling pack, and of course it's got the Bubba Army's logo right there, and a lot of guys. And by the way, Lummy, it has not only does it have a handle on top, but it also has the strap that you can, put around your shoulder.
Oh, that's perfect.
So,
is it solar powered?
It's not solar powered, no. And it's
you couldn't use Gene's technology for this.
I could not quite get the technology to work.
Oh, that's the partnership. That's the partnership and the merger people are looking for.
Gene's on to Tesla shocks right now. Yeah, the cooler thing was so 10 years ago. So go to Bubba Army Merch, Bubba Army Store, Bubba Army Shop. Dan, I don't know what you paid for yours, but mine's only I try to always price mine $5 to $10 cheaper than what they're going for on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have a lot of margins here. But I ordered 100 of them.
What's your price point?
Quick.
I think they're $23.99.
Oh, that's cheap.
I think they're $23.
Did it cost you more to load that thing up?
Oh, there's yeah. I mean, because a monster is what, $3?
Yeah, times 9.
I mean, yeah. So I mean,
it's $27.
Right. I mean,
plus tax.
There's more in drinks and yogurt in there than there is what the cost of the cooler is. So I'd buy 2 if I was you. They're very well made, and they're $23 or $24.99. Oh, let me see here. Go to Bubba Army Shop, Bubba Army Store, BubbaArmyMerch.com. You click on it there. It shows. Here it is, Lummy. Here's the cooler. It shows you. There's the front side of the cooler. Shows you how deep. Right now, it looks like she just has a couple things.
Are you using cottage cheese as a
model,
as a staging?
You can put like crackers and some popcorn, and some microwave popcorn. And there's it's all folded up, and then there's
that'll hold a 12-pack of regular size cans. It'll hold 6 plus 6.
I think it would. I think it'd hold 9 to 12. And listen, most of you degenerates, like Lummy, I know you're a little bit of an alcoholic degenerate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think you could put your bottle of vodka and, maybe a 6-pack in there.
Oh, listen, you could find a way to put it in there.
Most people don't need more than 12.
No.
If you're drinking more than 12 at an event, I mean, you got a problem.
buy 2 coolers.
You're probably too drunk to drive home.
Yeah, just buy 2 coolers, though.
So, Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army shop, BubbaArmyStore.com. They're $23.99.
Could this be the next big franchise? Every year it's a new lunchbox?
No, I don't think so. I think our franchises are my Bubba Army Alpha.
Yeah.
Volume. Put a little squirt on me right now.
Oh.
Volume 25 and the sneakers.
So,
those are.
All the sneakers are on their way, Lummy.
Are they?
Right.
The 2 franchises that we do every year are shoes and
Alpha
and our fragrance.
And your Bubba Army barp ring.
Well, that's
sort of a franchise.
No, it's not.
Well,
I mean, that's for those. That's the upper echelon.
How many rings do you get a year, roughly?
A couple hundred.
Okay, that's more than you have lunch boxes.
Yeah, but
hard to get.
The average consumer can go out and buy a lunchbox. The average consumer cannot go out and buy a barp ring.
No, very exclusive.
That's very exclusive. That's like saying I'm the Cleveland Browns and I'd like to buy a Super Bowl ring. No, it's only for the Super Bowl champions. Sorry, not available. So go pick these. I ordered 100 of them, and I priced them to blow out. They're so not. I think Macho wants one. Lummy wants one.
Yes,
Dan, do you want one?
Yes, I do.
All right, so that's.
I wore the other one out.
Merch Crick. If you're upstairs in your little, I know she's packing and shipping as we speak.
Big Kush 60 wants one.
Oh, Big.
I love a nice lunch pail.
You said that you didn't want one.
I know, but that was just me being a dick off the air. I want to be a true supporter of your merch on the air.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to really use it?
Dude, I love. Yeah, you see me toting around stuff all the time.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, why not tote some more?
I don't think I've ever seen you in a Bubba Army shirt, though.
Oh, get out of here.
And I do know this. Please don't get mad at me. I'm just busting your balls a little bit. I know that when you quit us the first time that you took us, there was no mention of us on your LinkedIn. You're not proud of us. But I think if you quit this time, you would be proud of us, and you would put us on your LinkedIn as a place that you used to work at.
Yes, yeah, you are on my LinkedIn.
And you talk about the lunchbox in his LinkedIn.
It is, and I did put the supporter of Lunchbox in there. I put Bubba Merch Hype Man as one of my responsibilities.
Bubba Merch Hype Man, co-host, president of podcasting, and the user of all gym equipment.
It's all there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bubba, I think that listener that had a question about the Sun short was asking about the Sun shirts, like those, like the fishing type shirts.
Oh, I think
that's what they were asking about. To clarify.
I think I don't know.
Are you coming up with some designs?
Well, the material is what Bubba's looking for, right?
Yeah,
the right supplier for the shirt.
I got to get a hold of Merch Crick because I think we were looking at those.
So I think it's a great idea.
And then she's so busy right now with trying to sell her house that I don't know that we followed.
Is she
through.
like giving out flyers and stuff? I mean, doesn't a real estate agent do that?
Yes, Dan, but she's got to get a new liner in her pool.
Oh, like prepping.
Yeah,
I understand.
Right,
Yeah,
and she let me.
Hold on. $50.
Oh my God, we need it so much. Thank you, Lummy. Guess what?
What?
She sold her T-Birds yesterday.
No way! To a Bubba Army person? Or?
No, to a black guy from Jacksonville.
Awesome.
All right.
Did you get a number for it?
Who only has it? No, she got screwed.
Oh.
But she wants them gone. She just wants them gone. So if you do go to our Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army store, Bubba Army shop, you'll see the various things we have. This, of course, the newest, the Bubba Army soft-sided cooler. So it looks like Seth wants one, Macho wants one, Lummy wants. So Merch Crick, if you could bring down 4 if you're here. Then Lummy, I forget who made these for us. Damn it. I remember, but a guy made, one of the Bubba Army listeners, I don't know if it was a guy from New Orleans or it was, I don't remember. But it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show Foundation Fallen Officer William May Flex Fit hat, the guy in Fort Walton Beach. And we have a very limited supply of this. All that money will go to my foundation. We have very limited supply of the throwback Full Trucker Effect shirts. Those were pre-order only.
Neil Mount Plaisir, $100.
Oh my God. Thank you, Neil. Did you steal somebody's ATM card?
Yeah, his own.
We got a very limited supply. A lot of people wanted the Bubba Army Fat Man Dunks T-shirts in white, so we got a limited supply of those. We got the Bubba Army Alpha, probably less than 15 bottles. I found this. I found a stack of these at the racetrack. These vintage license plates. I'd rather be racing at Bubba Raceway Park. I don't know if we're going to sell any of them. We have Bubba Army slides left. We have, of course, the Bubba Army snapback adjustable hat. That's, Lummy, the original Bubba Army knife. Bubba Army backpacks, sunglasses, Stanley-inspired 40-ounce tumblers, Operation Pigmentation shirts. Lummy, very limited supply of the Trump gold, the Trump-inspired. These are the original Air Bubba Fat Man Dunks 1. These are the original shoes. These are the Fat Man Dunks 1. They were, and we ripped off Trump's design on that. If you have a duck. So, listen, you can go through all this. I don't need to go through all this and waste your time. So Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army store, Bubba Army shop.
Can you negotiate the price?
No, there's not. It is what it is.
Okay.
No, there's no negotiation. Lummy, it looks like you sent me an article, and Juror 6 is gone.
Gone.
They released him yesterday.
Juror number 6 is officially dismissed from the Sean Diddy Combs trial. The news comes a week after Judge Arun Subramanian raised concerns due to inconsistencies with the male juror's living situation, and he was officially let go from the main panel of jurors June 16th. Subramanian said the juror, a 41-year-old black male, provided a conflicting account of where he lived, which is either in New York City within the bounds of the Southern District of New York or with his girlfriend in New Jersey. After the dismissal, more concerns arose, including conversations the juror may have allegedly had with a colleague about Diddy's case. The juror, who had his phone confiscated by the judge June 13th, was replaced by someone from the alternate pool, a 57-year-old.
So in order, I guess, to be on this jury, you had to live in a certain area. He wanted to be on this jury so bad that he maybe wasn't honest to where he lives. The prosecution sniffed it out because, of course, the defendant wants this. P. Diddy.
Would they follow this guy back to New Jersey one night after a hard day's work?
I mean, things come out, man. When you're this high profile of a case, everybody's trolling and sniffing and just trying to find something wrong.
Sniffing, just like you're right, Bubba. Just like you said, sniffing. They're sniffing around. They're looking at everything.
Just like us. We can't do anything without people sniffing around, trying to cause some problems.
From Westchester, with the former juror number 6 being a 41-year-old black man, Diddy's defense argued...
Except, when people do us dirty, then nobody really talks about that now, do they?
No one cares.
No. Which goes to show you there's about 20 trolls. I got it figured out. There's about 20. And if you look at all the people that have left the show, been fired from the show, stole from the show, there's about 20 people. If you count their significant others, there's about 20 people. So when you see all the bad things that are written about us and posted about us, know that it's really not the average person that listens to the show. It's 20 former disgruntled or spouses thereof, or friends thereof, of assholes that have left the show under bad circumstances. That's all it is. That's all. It might as well be a former employee forum, is what it might as well be. There's only 20 of them. I did an extensive count this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Went through one and wrote them down. There's only 20.
What the?
There's only 20.
What'd you do,
in a
man?
14.
Don't worry about what I did. I did what I did.
Extensive research on the quote-unquote haters.
Don't worry about it. You want a lunchbox? Shut up.
Page appeal.
Seth, I will give you a lunchbox if you can promise me that it won't end up on eBay for $14.99. Get it while you can now.
Bubba, you should be happy to be a part of my eBay. I have 1,700 perfect rating. I mean, people go to my eBay, they see high-quality products.
Do you sell a lot of stuff on eBay? Is it mostly the cards?
His cards.
Yeah.
It's all his cards.
Do you sell any other stuff on eBay? Do you have like a merchant shop or like a
old Bubba merchant?
You got anything lying around the house?
Well, I have some things I was thinking about selling.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it.
Give him, and then maybe give Seth a 15% cut.
15%.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Brian gives me a strict 10%.
10 sounds fair.
Okay, I was just trying to get him a little bit more.
Sometimes I lose money selling stuff for Brian.
How do you lose money if you make 10%?
Because I have to ship it and all that
But
stuff.
usually,
But
hold on. Usually he sends it up to Merch Crick and then he ships it on me.
No, I started doing it. I started doing it on my own.
And you realize how much of a pain in the ass it is.
Yeah, it's big time.
15-page appeal filed June 15th that there was, quote, no valid basis to dismiss him, and removing him would affect the diversity of the jury.
It'd be interesting to see who replaced him.
It was a 58-year-old accountant.
Oh, yeah, he's getting freaky.
Black or white?
They did not say
it. Was Charles Oakley.
Find it.
The letter notes.
Charles Oakley, formerly from the Knicks.
Yeah.
who got thrown out of Madison Square Garden, didn't he?
Yeah, you got to throw out who replaced him. Like it's some A-list actor in a movie now.
Right.
It's like, oh, Brad Pitt's out. Who's in next?
Well, we understand the court has refused to find any discriminatory motive in the government's actions with respect to its preemptory strikes or this motion. However, we respectfully and regrettably disagree. However, the judge addressed the...
Well, good luck on that. Good luck on Dan's a lawyer. Good luck on writing a brief that reminds the judge that he messed up. Like, that's going to work, right? Like the judge is going to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. I made a mistake in judgment here. Now opening up a possible appeal. Get the hell out of here.
He's not being released because of anything racial. He's being released because he lied to the judge.
Because he lied and he doesn't live within the jurisdiction.
Right. So arguably, if his being a juror is invalid. Because he's not from that area.
Right. So that's why they throw an alternate in there that's listened to the same case that he's listened to. Could they hold that guy in contempt?
57-year-old white father, by the way, is the
57-year-old white father, and they could, Dan, potentially hold that guy in contempt.
Yeah, he lied to the court.
Emphasizing, quote, this jury does not raise those concerns. The process to get a jury worked and worked wonderfully. Follow E! Online for the latest updates in the Sean Diddy Combs.
But you know, Bubba, the jury is everything. If you have a good jury,
hold on, Vordire.
That's what I'm saying. We're taking the jury.
Yes.
They're saying jury number 6, the guy that got dismissed, was a 41-year-old black man who loved 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
So, he was a big fan.
Yeah.
He was
that's
a fan,
why.
and
That's
this white
why
accountant's not a fan.
And that's why the P Diddy people are losing their crap completely over this. Hello, who's this?
That was the guy that was going to hold out.
You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Bubba. I was listening to the after show yesterday, and you mentioned people screwing you over. It's been about 20 guys.
No, I just hold on. I just mentioned that about 2 minutes ago.
I know. But also a great interview with Randy Couture yesterday. That was awesome.
I had a good time. I had a really good time with Randy. And you know what I'm going to do? Not only am I going to support Randy and with his pro mod, endeavor with SCAG. And NHRA, but from time to time, because UFC, Seth, what do they got? Like every month they got a really major pay-per-view, don't they?
I can't keep track. Yeah, they were in like Georgia, I think this week. I don't know.
But I mean, once a month, it's like pay-per-view $299 and pay-per-view $300. So I think it's, sir, you might know more about it than Seth does, but don't they have a real sexy, really, 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 big time pay-per-view once a month?
Yeah, but I stopped following them when you stopped covering them.
Okay, but here's the deal. Maybe I've stopped. I still watch it. I'm just not familiar with all the studs. Like back in the day, I could tell you, all the names. GSP, Rich Franklin, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, Tito Ortiz. I could go ahead and tell you all those guys. But what was that?
It's like a grandfather clock. My bad.
Oh, okay. So what I might do? Hold on. What I might do is maybe see if I can, when these big, sexy UFC fights are coming up, maybe get Randy on the air and get because obviously he's a Hall of Famer in that sport, and get his predictions or overview of that particular pay-per-view.
Yeah. I had a couple questions or points I was going to ask you too. In that interview, while I was watching, I flashed back to like Howard Stern 10 years ago and before was the best interviewer in the world. I personally think things have changed. He's still great. Don't get me wrong. But does your staff, like Macho, like behind the scenes, because I think Macho was there, running everything or whatever. Like behind the scenes, do your guys think of you as like one of the best interviewers that they've ever seen?
No, I don't think so.
I think that.
Yeah, of course.
No, I mean,
I think that.
Bubba, you were on a different level with Randy. Like you were hitting on all cylinders, and you guys had such good back and forth that like I was like, man, this is one of the best interviews I've ever heard. And don't get me wrong, it's you're kind of in a groove with UFC / skag racing, but it was amazing. You did great, man. I was like, man, this is one of the best interviews I've ever heard you do.
Well, I think I did a good Brett. You know what,
It's
sir?
one of your best talents, Bubba.
I think I am a pretty good interviewer.
You're the best.
As long as I keep my mouth shut and let the guy talk. Sometimes I get a little overwhelming and I take over and I just need to shut up and let them get their stuff out. But here's the one thing about interviewing in today's world. Most of the time, you're not going to interview the guy in the studio, and so you have a little bit of a delay, which causes some over talking sometimes, and so that's a little frustrating. But I think when I prepare, and which I did, Lummy, as you know, I did prepare. I had 8 Post-it notes full of notes, but when I prepare, I mean, Seth might be the guy that is the only person that really can truthfully answer this because he's worked with several different personalities. He's produced, he was going to be an executive producer and at the second largest market in America and in Los Angeles. So he comes highly regarded. I think he would have to probably honestly gauge my interviewing skills. I think that would have to be on Seth. And Seth.
And hasn't Mach been in the industry for like generations?
But Macho doesn't like to talk. Macho may not want to.
You can sign it.
But Macho, I guess I'll ask Macho and Seth, and I want everybody to be honest. And Seth, you don't ever tell me what I want to hear. But I think my experience, and I do think I'm a pretty good interviewer. Mach, over to you, and then Seth, you follow up and tell me the truth.
Well, I mean, as a non-sports person, you keep me engaged, so I guess I would have to say you're a really good interview.
Thank you. Seth, over to you to really bury me and to give me and to give the truth.
Well, I would say you're a good interviewer. I didn't think that Howard Stern. I never have thought that he's the greatest interview of all time. So I hope that doesn't take anything away. That I think that you're a good interviewer, but I just thought Howard always had access to great guests.
Right. He did, absolutely. But, you go back. I mean, Johnny Carson was a great interviewer. David Letterman was a great interviewer. Absolutely, Howard Stern is a great guy at that. It's different. He turns it around. Even when he's being interviewed, Bubba's like that. And then who else you got after that? Like Mr. B? I mean, Jesus, Bubba, you're in the Mount Rushmore of interviewers.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. Put yours against anybody's.
No, I'm the next level down. Let Seth continue on. You cut Seth off.
Oh, do I?
Did I?
No.
Yeah,
I thought he was done.
No,
I thought I was done.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, Bubba, one thing that you don't have.
Thanks, Seth.
Well, never mind.
Go ahead, Seth. Go ahead,
What Ian is saying, there is not a lot of guys that can hang with you, Howard, David Letterman, maybe Jay Leno. Like, there's not a lot of guys after that.
Well, one thing that Bubba doesn't have.
I know that when you're long gone from radio, like I'm gonna look back and miss.
That's when. Here's the thing. That's when I'll truly be appreciated and maybe inducted into the Hall of Fame is when I die. That's when people are going to go back on my library because I own it, and understand how good I really was and how my career stretched from like the Power Pig and, that shtick to where I am today. I think people will be able to appreciate me when I'm gone more so than when I'm here. Lummy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say is that those guys that you named, from Stern to David Letterman to Jay Leno, whoever, they have pre-interviewers, which you don't have. So they already have a staff of 10 people interviewing the one person or however many.
And writers.
And giving you questions, and then also finding out what maybe something interesting that's going on. You're going off the fly.
No, I do it completely on my own. The only thing I do is, you guys may book them, but then from there on, everything comes from me. Like one time, here's one of the things that blows my mind. When I first started SiriusXM, Tim Sabian was my boss. He was he was the president of Howard's channels. He was the program director of Howard 100 and Howard 101. So as we do our daily show with me and Manson, and then Manson playing the character Ned, and then Spice Boy, and then Brent, and then me, Tim called me up like 3 months into it and said, you never talk about your writers. You never talk about, who feeds you the lines and who, you're on some of your jokes and some of your spontaneity of what you say and things like that. And you never talk about your writers. Who are your writers? I go, what? He goes, who are your writers? I go, I don't got writers. I don't have anybody. He goes, you don't have a way for so Howard had, and I'm sure that he doesn't have it now because he doesn't do his show in studio, but he had like this little overhead projection gimmick that somebody could scratch out a note and put it, and then it would show up on his screen. Like Fred could scratch out a note, or Benji for like a one-liner, and kind of like a real primitive IM system.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have any of that. And he goes, well, we need to put into the budget next year to hire you a couple writers. And I go, no, just pay me more. Because I don't need writers. So, like a lot of people, I guess have writers. Howard had writers.
Greg Gutfeld show has writers.
I don't have writers.
Looking back, Bubba, do you think that that's why they tried to undercut you with the pay the following years?
No. They
were under the assumption previously that they were paying more people?
No. They only paid me $1 million, and I only got half of that. By the time I paid my staff,
because Manson got the rest.
Well, Manson, with Bubba Paloozas and bonuses and merchandise, a cut of merchandise, Manson had a couple years of over $600,000.
Yep.
And probably averaged $450 to $500 for from 2006 till 2012. He probably never made less than $500,000.
The other thing I would say is I've heard a lot of interviews where like the guest, it's like pulling teeth. The host is like pulling teeth from the guest, and you always get the guest to warm up to you to have a conversation. So it's more like a conversation than an interview.
Yeah,
just look at Mr. Sterling Sharp interview.
Yeah, and I always try to I think they feel more comfortable, and it's kind of more of a funny leaning interview, humorous. I think my interviews are more humorous than they are, real, straight-laced and to the point. So, I don't know. You know what, sir? Yeah, thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you so much. Not a lot of people, we don't do well with compliments. We're so used to being kicked in the teeth and told how stupid we are and they're going to ruin our lives, that getting a guy like yourself that appreciates what we do collectively. And let me be clear. I couldn't do the quality of show if I didn't have the support cast that I have.
Oh, stop it, Sponge.
I couldn't.
Come on.
Seriously, man.
I couldn't.
I know you get into it with your guys sometimes, and I know Seth gets stressed out about how much of a pervert you can be sometimes. But at the same time,
I didn't know you did, Seth.
It freaks me out.
You publicly state that you couldn't do this without Mach. That at one point you couldn't do your social media without Red. I know that fell apart, but
Listen, Gary Cantrell, and let me tell you another unsung hero here, and that's Gary Cantrell. Gary Cantrell is, doing the job of 3 people, and I probably need to give him a raise. If things got better, we're a little soft right now on business, but if things got better, I probably would try to get Gary a little bit more money. But Gary Cantrell works well with Seth, works well with Lummy, works well with 7-Eleven and Macho Man.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got, Lummy, I think you had the statistics yesterday. I think we got 3 or 4 videos on Facebook that are all over 500,000 views just this week.
Yeah, and trended up there.
And that all adds. That's all, that's all dollars, indirectly to the Bubba Radio Network. That's one of, our video and what those videos generate on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X, TikTok. Lummy, we got a little TikTok check this week.
Yeah.
So it's,
we left out Joe Rogan as one of the great interviewers these days.
Joe Rogan's an unbelievable
Very
interviewer.
good interviewer.
And and Dan, listen, Dan does a good job, and to help fill out the on-air ensemble. So I'm appreciative. And I'm looking forward to continuing to grow in this space. If you look at any of the Radio Inside Trader magazines, they're all talking about, 3, 4, 5% decline in AM and FM, advertising and just, and digital growth is where it's at. And, we are fortunate enough, a couple different things. I think it's a two or 3 tier situation that we should be fortunate. One, I think we're one of the very few personalities, at least local, that own lock, stock, and barrel I own all of my content. I own it all. Yeah. 2, I got a guy in Gary Cantrell working with everybody else that's managing and getting that content out. And 3, I think for the first time, probably since, hell, I don't even know, because I think Manson hated me for half of his career. I think I genuinely have a core of 4 or 5 guys that aren't trying to backstab each other, that aren't trying to outdo each other, that aren't trying to make one look stupid. We genuinely have everybody pulling for each other, and I think that I think that makes for a healthy environment, and I am excited to see where we go.
I have a question actually about that too, like the backstabbing and stuff. So yesterday's after show, someone mentioned that 25 reached out, but like a few times he's reached out over the past 4, 5, 6 months. You said back then that you think potentially, and eventually you would get into it, but you think that maybe 25 had more of a role in the sex tape.
It burns when I pee. $50.
I think 25 knew about it, and I think that the people that stole it and disseminated it maybe talked to 25 about it, but I don't think 25 had anything to do with the stealing of it or anything like that. I think he may have knew about it, and I think he was freaked out about it because it really how much damage it did. So I think you said you got phone records, and like right as it was being released, like it was very yellow. But I also think that there's a situation or a chance that Spice was contacting 25 during that period to just make it look like, and they were just talking about show stuff and things like that, that he was just trying to put 25 on the record, so to speak, so that indeed we would be having this conversation that 25 may have had something to do with it, when really they were just talking about
try to rope him in.
Yeah, I 25 was such a good dude to me, and was so that I don't think he may have knew about it, but he didn't have any hand in trying to hurt me. I don't think so.
Any chance you guys rekindle and like bring him into the fold once a week and try to do something with him?
I think he's got a full-time job that is during these hours, but 25 would always be welcome to come in and sit in on a show or do a show. based on his schedule and our schedule. No, I have no ill will to him at all.
Okay, cool.
All right, bud.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I shot out of a cannon. I just had some questions, and I appreciate
this guy.
No, it sounded like you were going for the greatest interview of all time title.
He's going to try to do his own interview, and next time, please don't use a speakerphone.
I don't think he's on a speakerphone.
Oh, he was on something. That's direct.
He might be on a headset. He might be on a headset.
Or the Bluetooth?
Yeah, it's a headset because I'm working.
Yeah, okay.
All right, bud. Appreciate you.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thanks. When we get back, we're talking about the girl that the Dodgers asked to sing the national anthem. She's a Spanish girl. Kind of cute.
She's adorable.
And they asked her to sing the national anthem, and she sang it in Spanish.
Oh, no.
But
no, she didn't.
She did. Oh, yeah, she did. And
did they know she was going to?
No, in fact, they asked her not to.
Oh.
And she did.
So they're going to not pay her?
No.
She's in the back of Tom Homan's van.
That's right. Get out of
here. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Bubba, can we roll it? Can we roll into Clement Kush today?
Yep, we can.
All right.
Like maybe 10 after? Something like that?
Yeah, 10, 15, whatever.
Yeah.
The Craig needed to come at 11.
Let's try to get it at like maybe 10, 05, 10.
Yeah.
Just enough for you to go pee, get our shit together.
Yeah, that
Do you
works.
have? Do you want to try to get out of here earlier?
Well, Craig's coming early, so that.
No, I meant like we sign off before obviously like 10.
No, I think we're good. I
think I can sign off at like 54, 55.
Yeah,
I can sign off at
5
55.
minutes.
We just got to be done around 10:50.
What's up, Thuggish Rogers? Please live
No, I was saying is if we could get it to where we're rendering the show by, we can have it done by 10.
I think we're fine just because Bubba and I.
Yeah, I think I can get out of here at 55, Lummy, and me and Seth could probably start by 5 after.
Yeah.
I like a cool show. Habib Chakri. I don't know what that has to do with the show. His Wags, Todd Woods, Caviar, Samson. Duke. Oh my God, that word. Rob Goldberg, yes. Washington College. Bullshit.
Fucking thing is.
How much more baseball this year than I have? Inzer. I got a couple of these. Skyline. Bouncer 813.
Lend me some sugar. I am your neighbor.
Thank you,
Big
Biggie
buck.
McGillicuddy.
It's good. It's just there's an electronic. What's up there, now, Fred? Roberto Perez.
$20.
Rocks. Fred Marshall.
I got about 2-3 hours of sleep.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're suffering?
No, I'll be okay.
Your merchant, $2.
Thank you. Maggie, Group Rose.
What's up, Birdo?
That's all you got, Seth?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I couldn't sleep after that OKC game.
You were so hyped.
Oh, God.
It takes a while to come down.
It does sometimes after watching exciting games.
Yeah.
Similar. Let's shows.
Yeah, I was sleeping because I knew my team was
I'm
going
going
to
to keep one.
smash right down to 0.
Every game I've thought about just skipping it, just being like, all right, I'll wake up and see what happens. But every time I get sucked in.
But yeah, now I gotta worry about that fucking douchebag.
Morning, Biggie.
It's just been. Oh, man. Championship runs will take it out of a fan.
Drunk guys have bad aim.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
One thing, Seth and I, sports, I can't think of a lot of teams, because I don't think you really care for the Rays too much. You're not much of a baseball, well, no, because you're a White Sox fan.
I appreciate the great teams and players in baseball. I just don't watch it day in and day out like I used to.
So you're a White Sox fan, so it's tough to root for the Rays. But one thing, and listen, 2 years ago, I would have never ever thought that I would be a WNBA fan. Never.
Nope.
Never in a million years would I think that I would care less. Regardless of a white girl from Iowa comes in is being compared to what she represents the WNBA as to what Larry Bird represented in the NBA. Like she's actually somebody that I actually follow. And like on Saturday, they played at 3:00 on I think ABC or ESPN, I think, which is the same. And I watched the game on Saturday, and Caitlin Clark has turned me into a fan, and I know that Seth is a huge fan to the point where he's collects her card.
Well, her card's going to be valuable. I think it's a good business decision.
Oh, they're very expensive.
It is. But he also is, not only is he a card collector on her, but he also he also has written her privately for panties. That's not we haven't gotten a response back. But I think
she's a 6-footer, weighs $155, size 11 shoe.
I think I think Seth is equally a fan as I am of her as a player.
Iggy McGillicuddy, $20.
Thank you, Iggy. Keep water sanding.
I think she's incredibly impressive as a player, and I think that she's handled everything from being a 22, 23-year-old girl. I think she's handled everything that's come at her off the court.
She has grace.
Yeah, incredibly well, and I think that she's just the next big, massive superstar in sports.
Agreed.
I didn't realize that Angel Reese is 2 inches taller than her. I thought Angel Reese was shorter.
Angel Reese is
6'2".
just so ate up. Like Caitlin Clark is so in her head.
He's like the Macho Man. She's like the Macho Man of wrestling. She's so
just
pissed off.
Ate up with it. And and by the way, so the New York Liberty were undefeated. They were 9-0. Indiana was 4-5, but Caitlin had sat out I think 3 or 4 games with a quad injury. This is her first game back. And they and I just wanted to. This was on set from Saturday, but I mean, this is like Steph Curry type stuff. Check this out.
Able to get a decent shot off. And Cunningham is down.
I mean, where does she take that shot from? Let's count how many steps past the half court. 1, 2, 3,
Cunningham is down behind the play.
I mean, her 50-foot shot's incredible. I mean, she's like 80% from 50 feet.
I mean,
Got Caitlin Clark to fire away from Johanna's very coolly. Two players with incredible.
Is she like Larry Bird? Well, she'll shoot like 1,000 shots a day. Is she that type of person?
I don't know her training regimen.
She's got to be close to that.
I mean, look, I think this one, Seth, might be further than the first one.
Two players with incredible.
You can't defend it.
With the three, Johannes answered, then Caitlin.
By the way, is that new cute girl they got from?
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham from Phoenix.
She's pretty. She's beautiful. Okay, here we go. I lost my volume, Lummy. What happened to my volume?
No, what happened?
I don't know.
Cunningham. Clark, another long three.
I mean,
that's good. This guy is such an irritant.
I know this. I think Seth said that when she plays, tickets are $85 to $100, and when she was hurt for the 3 or 4 games, tickets were down to like $8.
Everything tanked. The ratings tanked. The attendance tanked. I mean, they saw that she drives the league.
It was like Tiger Woods at the beginning. You know, I mean, if he was playing, the whole world was watching on TV.
There's so many. I think there's so many analogies you could use player-wise. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. You know,
but Michael Jordan came in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Bubba.
No, you do it a lot. You're real good at it.
But Michael Jordan came at a time where there was other really, there were superstars. No one paid any attention to golf. Until Tiger Woods did it.
Nah, I mean,
except the hardcore guys.
Michael Jordan came in and polished what Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had established, and they polished what Dr. J and Moses Malone and what was the one guy that used to Daryl Dawkins. So each generation, Daryl Dawkins and Mike and Dr. J kind of got some eyeballs on the NBA. Larry and Magic come in and really polish it up. Then Michael takes it over, and then you could say arguably potentially Kobe. And now LeBron, each with their own set skill and each with their own, slice of 10 years, if you will.
And you can go back to the Thorpe days of football and see how each one polished it up. But when it comes to golf, Bubba, only old white guys used to watch golf on TV. And Tiger Woods single-handedly made it a community experience. He made kids play golf that never had any dreams of playing golf. He made black kids start playing golf that never would have played golf, and he really popularized it in a significant way that had not been done before, just like Caitlin Clark has done with women's basketball. I think it's a transformative. I think it's more important than a lot of these other athletes because, like you said, they polished up what was something that was already there. There was zero in the WNBA, zero interest. And now it's blowed up.
Hi, who's this?
Yeah, good morning, Bubba. This is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, I just had two quick story you covered yesterday, the shooting in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
Did any of you guys happen to see the news story about the head of a international security firm?
Yeah, he claims to have had one or worked with one, but it's a joke.
No, we haven't. I didn't get a lot of prep from him today. My guys didn't prep me up much about him today. I don't know if we're already moved on or I
don't think we've moved on yet. I mean, they're gonna probably hopefully publish the full list of his hit list, which still hasn't fully been published yet.
There's also a lot of conspiracy theories out there now. So
well, there's conspiracy theories about everything.
I know. I'm just saying that's what a lot is coming out about. Like he's saying about his international security firm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tom. I think. Go ahead. All right, buddy. I don't have time for spotty cell service.
You walked a hooker home in Thailand. That's international security, right?
Cell phones destroyed talk radio. They absolutely did. And Bluetooth headsets and cell phones destroyed talk radio.
guys, it's okay. We are going to do the song in English today, so I'm not sure.
So watch the Dodgers tell me I can't sing the Spanish Star Spangled Banner that Roosevelt literally commissioned in 1945. Now, is this her doing this, or is this somebody else that has just taken this footage and put this in there?
This is her.
If that wasn't if that wasn't relayed.
To me, it sounds like the stadium's pretty dead. Like they're not really into it.
To her, it was the most important thing in the world she could have done. It was her moment to make her little statement. And again, you know, when you're supposed to sing the national anthem in English, you should respect the national anthem in English. When other countries come here and play sports here, we respect their national anthem. You would hope that the Americans would respect their own national anthem. Shame on her.
Well, it is L.A., and at that point, it's all, you know, all rules are off.
With me, because I'm still very shooken up, and I'm
very shooken up.
Yeah, again, moron. She can't even speak English correctly.
All right, bear with me, because I'm still very shooken up, and emotional, and anyways, I just got home from.
Why?
Well, because her curls are stapled to her forehead.
I mean, you did it. The Dodgers told you not to. Mm-hmm. You did it.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers didn't get mad at you.
She's lucky.
You're not. Nobody's, I don't think, making a big deal about it on the internet.
And you know what? If she had done this in a high school, they would have held her diploma. Pulled something like this? Absolutely. They would have messed with her so badly if she had done this in the school context. Absolutely,
singing the
Bubba.
national anthem in Spanish.
She didn't do what she was contracted to do. I wouldn't have paid her. I'm like, you didn't sing the national anthem.
They don't get paid, I don't think. I think it's.
Sometimes they get a little.
I don't think so.
Yeah, usually they don't get paid.
Anyways, I just got home from singing the national anthem in Spanish at the Dodgers game, and it is the official Star Spangled Banner in Spanish. You can Google it. So I'll just read it to you really quick, but it was officially commissioned in 1945 by the U.S. State Department as a part of President Franklin Roosevelt's Good Neighbor policy to foster a better relationship with Latin America. Because of this, I didn't think I would be met with any sort of no, especially because we're in LA and with everything happening. And I've sang the national anthem many times in my life, but there was today out of all days. I could not. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just could not believe when she walked in and told me no.
Again, this is Gen X, Gen Z. This is Gen Z that one can't follow directions.
Right, refuses to listen to authority.
And two, no is not an option. And three, they do what they want. And you just got to deal with it. But it starts and stops with they don't follow directions and they cannot be told no, period. Whereas when we were growing up, no meant no.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a workaround no. There was just no, you can't do it.
But I just felt like I needed to do it.
All right, well, you did it. You did it. What's the big deal? Why the emotions? Why the crying? Why, you did it and you did it well. And the Dodgers didn't say anything. The Dodgers didn't yank you. They didn't cut off the microphone and the PA system halfway in between when they knew what you were doing. They let you ride it out. You got a decent response from those that appreciated it. I don't know that you got booed at all. I don't think you did. And the Dodgers, I don't think, had a problem with it. I mean, I don't think the Dodgers went on socially and said, oh, my God, we told this chick to sing it in English and she said it in Spanish and I can't believe she did that. Oh, my God. No, I just think everybody says, okay, she wanted to sing it in Spanish. Go ahead, girl. You go, girl. You did it.
Okay, so here's an alternative. So now we're in England, and there's a big soccer game or football game, and you have this Somalian that comes up and sings the British national anthem in Somalian.
I don't know that. I don't know if that.
There's just a ton of immigrants from there.
I don't know that correlation with respect to what's going on in LA right now, is the same.
They have a massive African migration going into.
I don't know that
right
the
now.
Somalians are protesting in London right now. and that the London government are yoking the Somalians up, aka ICE, and sending them back. I mean, I don't know that we're comparing apples to apples here. I'm just saying it.
For anyone who's been following me for a while, everything I do is out of love,
And way to make a big deal about nothing. I had no problem with you. Well, I would have preferred you sing it the way you're supposed to, but you sang it the way you wanted it. You made it your own. You sang it. You did it well. Nobody seems to be hating on you. I don't see a bunch of hate on the deal. I don't know why all these emotions. Are these crocodile tears to get more viral clicks?
Well, I would assume that there's some people online probably weren't happy.
Okay, but I mean, there's people online that aren't happy about everything. I mean, literally, they could win the Powerball and they're not happy about the taxes they got to pay on it.
Okay, Bubba, better example than Somalia would be India. Because there's a lot of people from India.
Dan, you're just trying to get a worker. I can't answer any of that. I just know that she did this in L.A. She was told to sing it in English. She didn't. She sang it in Spanish. The club didn't have a problem with it, or they didn't go on to make a big deal about it. She's maybe got a little bit of hate, but she's a public figure, and she's got various social platforms, and everybody knows that if you got those social platforms, or you're a public figure, or you're throwing out what you're doing out there for public criticism, then you have to put up with a certain amount of criticism. So you're not a private citizen. You sang the song, you have posted it, and now you're upset with the naysayers or the people that are mad at you because you didn't sing it correctly. That's just what you got to put. That or don't post it. That or stay off the internet. Because if you think that everything is roses and good and attaboys and pats on the back, then everything from our president to your mother is open for criticism if they have a social media account.
Anyone who's been following me for a while, everything I do is out of love, good energy, out of love, and I'm proud of myself for doing that today.
Sounds like a self-hype machine to me.
Oh, she's her own biggest fan.
Because my parents are immigrants.
Okay, great.
Duh.
And here's the deal. I think the majority of the people, this is a non-factor.
And
what was the little rascal that had that same curl?
they've been citizens like my whole life at this point.
Alfalfa.
They got documented really early, but...
All right, so your parents are documented. They're cool. I'm assuming you're documented and you're cool.
Well, she was born here, yeah.
Anchor baby.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine them being ripped away from me. Even at this age, let alone a little kid.
No, they haven't been ripped away. It's my understanding they have not been ripped away. They're documented. Now, hold on. How does that make sense? If she says her parents are documented, and now she's going to cry over the fact that they may be ripped away, but they can't be ripped away because they're documented. So she's making a whole big emotional deal over something that would be like, you're saying, oh my God. No, don't take this the wrong way, please.
Of course.
But that would be like you crying right now over something happening to Walker. Well, nothing's happened to him. He's good right now.
Yeah.
Be like, oh my God. I just can't believe, if something would happen to Walker, if he would get hurt or something. Oh my God. Well, you're crying about something that hasn't and potentially will never exist.
He's going to lose out the starting quarterback position to a trans female.
I got to tell you right now, he's not going to be a quarterback. I'm just going to tell you that right now. He's not going to be a quarterback.
No. He could be an edge.
He's going to be an edge rusher. That's where they make the money.
That's right.
Either strong side offensive tackle or edge rusher.
Let's go edge rusher.
It's going to be dependent on how fast he is.
Right.
We got to get him off the ball fast.
If he's got Lummy speed,
he's going to be an offensive lineman.
Myself for doing that today.
Realistically, Lummy, you should have him out there playing golf every day. That's where the real money is.
Oh, he likes
Swinging the
golf.
baseball.
He likes hockey.
Swinging the baseball about Ohtani.
I know. I can't get him out of that hockey stage.
Didn't Ohtani
Because
pitch
my-
last night for the first time in like 2 years?
We got that story.
My parents are immigrants, and they've been citizens like my whole life at this point. They got documented really early.
All right, so hold on. So they're immigrants.
So it's a problem.
So they're immigrants, and they've been there. They've been with you your entire life, and they got documented super early. So it's my understanding that those aren't the people that are getting deported. Those are the people that did it the right way. Your parents are the people that came to our country and were documented and have lived here a long time and had a prosperous life and had you, obviously. You're a citizen. And so now you're going to get into a big crying gimmick, a big woe's me, crocodile tears on, I can't even imagine them being ripped away. They can't get ripped away. They can't.
But I just can't imagine them being ripped away from me.
They can't!
Even at this age, like, let alone like a little kid. Like, what are we doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? No, if I'm part of the Los Angeles Dodgers and I'm trying to find people to sing the national anthem, I tell you, let's not have that Spanish bitch in here anymore. Should we let her sing it?
I don't think she's going to get invited back.
We let her sing it, and then she went on this whole big drama deal and tried to make us look, and again, she's trying to put heat on the Dodgers. Story time, singing the national anthem in Spanish at the Dodgers. Dodgers didn't do anything wrong. They asked her not to sing it in Spanish. You can make that request. She didn't do it. She sang it her way. The Dodgers didn't go on a whole big on their Instagram and their X and their Facebook and their whatever and, say, this bitch did it the wrong way and shame on her and national anthem was supposed to be sung in English. They didn't say a word. They didn't say one word.
Anyways, sorry. This is a whole different side of me that y'all never see, but thank you for all this.
I don't ever want to see you in my life again. You're a dramatic, embellisher. You're an absolute over the top dramatic embellisher. You're a liar. You're a clickbaiter.
Sweet messages. I love you guys so much.
So are we, Lummy. We're clickbait. I mean, our clickbait says the U.S. has to get involved in Israel and Iran, and we haven't even talked about it yet.
Much. Safe to say I'm never allowed in that stadium ever again.
You know what, Lummy? I'd have her back. I would literally have her back.
Baby Neza?
Yeah.
Baby Neza?
She says she's already saying the Dodgers will never have me back.
I'll never see, but thank you for all the sweet messages. I love you guys so much. Safe to say I'm never allowed in that stadium ever again. But I love you guys so much.
I think the Dodgers should do immigrant night. And
what's different for that?
The Dodgers came out and said she's welcome back anytime.
Yeah. Did they really?
Yeah.
What a great play. What a great play.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to
and way to completely diffuse what she's trying to do with this. Because Seth, that's perfect. Dodgers are great.
And they're going to do the San Francisco baseball team, their national anthem in Chinese. Would that be appropriate then, Lummy?
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of Chinese immigrants and from the last 100 years.
No, I think the San Francisco. I think the San Francisco national anthem will be sung by an AI robot. That seems to be what they're working on in Silicon Valley right now. When we return, Lummy, we're going to dig into the clickbait, and that is the U.S. I mean, listen, a missile strike damages the U.S. embassy. Didn't Trump say all along that when you finally have, messed with us in some way, shape, or form, we're going to get involved? Now, is this a technicality in the fact that no American really got hurt? It was just our embassy that got hit a little bit? We're going to say that's okay? It's okay for you to mess with our embassy, but it's since you didn't kill anybody. To me, why can somebody, and I'm late and I want to go into words, so I can get back on time, but in a very short-winded answer, can somebody explain to me why we are so hesitant to go all in here? Because what does Iran produce or do for us that we really need more so than Israel? We are Israel's top ally. We have 400,000 people, I think, Americans that live in Israel. So we have, we're their number one ally. We always have been. We always will be. So I understand why we protect them and help them. But what does Iran do for us that we're so hesitant not to jump all in? Because when we jump all in, it's over. We've had experts say that when we get all in, they don't have, they're already depleting what they have to do what they're doing. They don't have enough to take what we got coming.
Well, that pulls in other countries like China and Russia.
Right.
So the minute we get involved now, Putin's stretched. He can't.
China's not. And China needs Iran for their oil.
So this is all about China.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like
we just struck a deal with China too, Bubba.
But doesn't it seem like every goddamn thing we do has a connection to China?
Well, we made them powerful.
And thank Nixon for that.
We'll get into What's that?
Nixon's the one that opened up China.
I'm not saying open up China is a bad thing, but
we gave a country that was literally calculating by drawing in the dirt infrastructure and legitimacy and an economy and money, and over that last 30 years or 40 years, what they've done with it is said, okay, well, thank you for the head start. Now we're just going to destroy everyone in our way.
Well, we'll get into that next. Hold on.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Seth, I'm going to try to get out like 55.
How many Haitian slaves they had 50 years
Sounds
ago.
good. And we could probably fire up by 05. Take it to 45. There's your 40 minutes, and we're good. Gives you 15 to get your shit together before Craig
The
will.
Dominican Republic?
That works for me.
Okay.
Every ditch is being dug by Haitian.
I'm saying the Bahamas are the same thing.
Bahamas, the Haitians in Bahamas are undercutting the locals.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they brought in the Haitians to do their work.
Not
The Bahamians are already.
It's like cockroaches.
Yeah.
They hate them.
I know what I was looking for. Weather in Zuber, Florida. Oh shit! I got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday situation. So let's look at Wednesday. Nothing. Thursday. Where's my rain? Okay, right here. Okay, that's nothing. Friday. What am I looking at here? I can survive that. And what about Saturday? Oh, we're good. Everybody said
thumbs up. Morning, Kabuki Jones. BarbeTips.com. Best way to donate. Comes to us. Let's go to the big guy. What's up, Darkness Steve? Dr. Dan's Rejuvenation help for 35 months. Thank you.
A little shot of whiskey to get me going.
Oh, you need something back here?
What's that?
You need something behind the bar?
No, I put it in my thermos.
Oh, perfect.
I'm buzzing, man.
Ian, Ryan. 48 months. What's up, Dirt Merchant? Thumbs up. I like seeing that 666. What's up, Couch? Bird Joshua. C. Sampson. What's up, Nick the Gun Guy?
Her email is
How's it going?
contract sent. No, I was notified.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I had an hour and 21-minute interview/Zoom call with Randy, the Natural Couture, in the UFC Hall of Fame. He is now going to start, well, he's been training to jump in a NHRA Pro Mod, sponsored, of course, by my good friend Randy from Skag. It's going to be the Skag. It's a 37 Chevy called the Al Capone. It's 502 cubic inch. I don't know how many, a couple thousand horsepower. It's a 5-second car. And so, Dan, you might be able to appreciate that. It's a 5-second, 218 mile an hour, 1,000-foot car.
That's ridiculously fast.
And Randy Couture, in conjunction with Skag Power Equipment, is training on it. It looks like Randy's first race was potentially going to be Virginia this weekend, but he just didn't have enough seat time, and so it might be the U.S. Nationals I think during Labor Day weekend in Indiana. Which, I got to sit down with you and Seth and go through our vacation schedule, because some of which I'm going to ask you guys to do a show, and some of which I'm going to give you time off.
Oh, thank you. Take a little vacation.
Yeah, so we probably need to, formulate that, because you guys have kids and probably want to do a little bit of a summer vacation. I do historically, Seth, you and Phoebe go take like Sammy away for a few days and do a little vacation normally, or no? You seem like kind of a homebody.
We haven't the last couple of years. We're planning to do something this year.
Okay, cool. Well, let me know the dates, maybe potentially.
All of August.
All of August. What are you guys doing? Doing a jet set around all the hot spots of Florida?
I'm going backpacking through the SEC. So that's what I've always wanted to do.
So let me know if you guys got.
Yeah, we were talking about it whenever we do get time off, trying to go on a vacation, maybe to the Bahamas.
Macho Man, I know that you might have some dates as well. So collectively, we might want to, try to sync up our calendars, see which days, I need off for the traveling that I want to do in conjunction with the traveling you guys want to do, and maybe it'll all sync up, maybe it won't.
Where are you trying to get to this summer?
What do you think?
Indiana?
Yeah. That's where I ever.
Any other place, though? I mean, is there any other place you'd like to go?
Maybe see my dad, maybe, but that might be towards the fall.
Is he close to Vegas?
No, he's in Reno.
Nevada, okay.
It's impossible. They have no direct flights. You got to go through Denver or Phoenix or Vegas. And the last time I went, let me remember, I got canceled and the whole 9 yards. So my father potentially, and I want to catch a Dion. I want to go to Boulder this fall and catch a game as you know, as a guest of Dion's. So you know that's the two things that I want to do. So Iranian missile strike damages U.S. embassy in Tel Aviv. Embassy shut down. Video shows shattered glass.
What the
All right, so
Wah.
Iran has blown off a missile that hit our embassy. That's kind of getting us involved a little bit, isn't it?
Broken windows, shattered glass, and rising tensions in the Middle East. The U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv has suffered damage from a nearby Iranian missile strike, as Iran launches one of its most aggressive attacks on Israeli soil yet. Early Monday morning, Iran...
Now, didn't they say, though, that after the first couple, like 3, that they were going to be depleting their inventory of warheads and missiles that had the, you know...
Who's they? Who's they?
That is Israeli officials, in conjunction with American officials, had said that the amount of missiles that Iran has to travel the 932 miles across Iraq to get to Israel, they only had a certain amount of them, and after like the 3rd or 4th wave, there would be less of them. But it doesn't seem like that's been the case. It seems like there's been missile attacks every day, and now
last night was the least amount that they fired over since they started.
So maybe that's happening, right?
Well, they're also saying that China has sent more.
Right. We're going to
weapons.
resupply Israel with their anti-missile missiles, and then China and Russia are going to resupply Iran with their missiles.
Iran launched a barrage of missile strikes on Israeli cities. The attack came just days after Israel struck deep inside Iranian territory, hitting what it claimed were military and nuclear sites. The U.S. Embassy branch in Tel Aviv was one of the buildings hit by the blast waves. Although the strike didn't directly hit the building, the impact of nearby explosions shattered windows and damaged interiors. In a post on X, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee confirmed some minor damage from concussions of Iranian missile hits near Embassy branch in Tel Aviv, but no injuries to U.S. personnel. He also added that the embassy and consulate would remain closed for the day, as a shelter-in-place protocol remains in effect. Videos from the incident show shattered window panes and broken glass strewn across embassy rooms. The staff have been ordered to stay in secure locations as a precautionary measure. Elsewhere in Israel, the scale of the damage is far more severe. According to Israel's emergency service, Megan David Adam, 5 people were killed and 92 injured on Monday alone. The previous death toll was 4, according to reports. This escalation follows years of shadow warfare between Iran and Israel, fought through proxies, cyber attacks, and covert missions. But now, with missiles flying openly across borders, the conflict has entered a dangerous new phase. Israel claims it successfully targeted key nuclear facilities and eliminated top Iranian commanders and atomic scientists. But the stakes nearly went higher. A senior U.S. official revealed that Israel wanted to target Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei directly.
Yeah, I know. Supposedly, Israel was like, let's go get this dude. He's the highest-ranking political figure. And Trump shot it down, is what I'm hearing.
Sounds like he's measured.
But U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly intervened, urging Israel to step back from that plan. Speaking to reporters on Sunday, Trump said, quote, "Sometimes they have to fight it out."
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
The U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv remains...
I don't think that Israel wants to hear, sometimes you got to fight it out.
It's closed for now, but the diplomatic fallout is only just beginning. With no clear off-ramp in sight, the fear of a wider Middle East war is no longer just theoretical. Stay with the Indian Express as we...
Man, that region is so unstable.
Mm-hmm.
That is so unstable.
Continue to bring you ground reports, analysis, and global reactions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.
I don't know, man. Does the U.S. get involved more so? And what does that entail? Does that entail us actually not just supplying Israel with stuff, but actually boots on the ground or missiles from our carriers that are parked out? Is that the Red Sea?
Yeah, it's one of them.
I think we have. I think we got. Yeah, it's one of the major bodies of water that we can hit. Iran with very easily.
A couple things, Bubba. First of all, we're not supposed to be targeting national leaders. That's not really the rules of engagement. I mean, we don't go. Wars are fought among the army. You're not supposed to assassinate world leaders just because their countries are warring with other countries. That's not been the game plan for years, and I think it's, I don't think it's the right technique. I do think that Israel struggled with Gaza, which is the size of St. Pete. And so I don't know why they're just beating their chests and thinking they're going to take down Iran, which is 10 times the size of Israel.
Well, geographically, they're way bigger than Israel, but Israel is far more advanced militarily than Iran.
But they couldn't do Gaza.
Gaza was a struggle because their enemies were underground.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't
necessarily have tunnels in Iran.
No, they're blowing up nuclear facilities, energy. They're taking out some of their top military leaders. They don't live in underground tunnels like Hamas.
Yeah, Hamas is the cockroaches that live underground, and you couldn't get to them as easily as the people that are rolling around freely in Iran, knowing that they're 935 miles away from their enemy. The people that they're bombing, that are getting bombed and that they're bombing. I think this is an Israeli television host that's
other way around.
Oh, so it's an Iranian. It's an Iranian host that's doing something, and Israel bombs the building, I think.
She looks angry.
Now, don't they have to cover? Don't they have to cover their face?
It depends.
If they're reading the news, they don't have to.
I guess not.
If I was a girl, I'd just walk around with a newspaper all day. That way I didn't have to have my face covered up.
چه که ملاحظه کردید صدایی که شنیدید فضای غبارآلود استودیو
Like Seacrest out.
Better get to that bomb shelter.
I mean,
that's their state-run
media.
I think, yeah.
Again, the U.S. Embassy being hit indirectly. I remember it was a few years ago when Trump was president the first time. They somewhere in the Middle East, someone took out some of our drones, and one guy's like, just destroy everything, and Trump's like, they didn't kill anything. They took out a drone. Let's have a measured response.
The escalating tension between Israel and Iran, it is weighing heavily on the G7 summit that President Trump is attending. Here's Natalie Brand.
Where is the G7?
Canada this year.
Where?
Canada.
Oh. Now, is the leader of Iran and is Netanyahu, is he there?
I think those guys are like the G50 because they're such small economies.
With our country's response.
President Trump is meeting this morning with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, the host country for this year's G7.
You look mad as hell there.
Iran. It is weighing heavily on the G7 summit that President Trump is attending. Here's Natalie Brand with our country's
response. Or he's gotten so heavy he can't button his coat and he's mad about it.
Response.
Watch this. Ready?
President Trump is meeting this morning with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, the host.
He looks mad as hell, does he not?
Yeah. Button's
country
mad.
for this year's G7 summit.
That button, it looks like he might be gaining some weight. Not that I'm, Johnny Fitness and need to be talking about guys gaining weight, but it looks like that one top button is screaming, doesn't it?
It does look angry.
Bringing together 7 of the world's top economies.
I'm mad because I got on the scale and I've gained 20 pounds since the military parade.
But looming over.
It was my birthday, too. I had a big birthday cake, 24 karat gold, everything. Did I tell you about my new cellular service? Yeah, that's right. cellular service for
47.45.
$47.45.
Is that what he's charging?
Yes.
At least it's made in the USA.
It's made in the USA.
Is it,
I got.
Nope.
Is it Donald Trump Jr.? I got Junior slinging the cellular.
The phone's going to be gold.
My phone's going to be gold. I don't know what your
T1.
phone's going to be.
Oh, T1 phone's going to be gold.
T1 phone's going to be gold. Guys like Dan Diaco is going to have a Trump cellular for a T1 phone.
On my Mint network.
We're going to be able to dispatch, like records and medicine and everything right to your phone. Like your phone can't do that right now. You know what I'm saying? GoodRx and all the other things.
Over the gathering, the conflict between Israel and
Is that the helicopters that he took?
Iran now in its 4th day.
Hold on. That's not.
That's not Marine One.
Yeah,
those are the Ospreys. Those are dangerous. He's not getting those. Those things go down like every day.
Well, those are probably what flew in and protected him.
Yes.
Those flew probably, I would say Helicopter One.
Marine One
was probably in the middle, and one was in the front and one was in the back.
Probably.
Now in its 4th day.
That's a pretty far helicopter ride from Washington, D.C., maybe to, where is this, in Ontario? Or?
He wouldn't do that, Bubba. He would fly
Alberta.
and then do a helicopter from the airport.
It's in Alberta.
Oh, that's what they did? So he flew to wherever, and then they helicoptered him to instead of driving, because because they don't have jurisdiction to close down roads and things like, I don't know.
Probably a lot faster if you look at its mountains.
Conflict between Israel and
I love those helicopters.
Iran now in its 4th day. An Iranian missile attack overnight damaged a synagogue in central Israel and a school building. Residential buildings were also hit. The U.S. consulate suffered minor damage and remains closed as a precaution. In Iran, thousands are fleeing Tehran. The health ministry reports more than 200 killed in Israeli military strikes so far. Before leaving for Canada...
So the way I got it scored is about 10 Israelis have died and over 200 Iranians have died. And the Iranians have had their nuclear experimental sites to rubble. Various military leaders, like the top 6, dead, and anywhere else that they could have been developing weapons have been taken out as well. So what do they got left?
President Trump expressed hope for de-escalation.
So at this point, though, do you get the leader, the Ayatollah, whoever the leader of Iran is, and do you get Bibi? I don't even think that they like each other enough to get into a room and to negotiate this. And does Trump or our president or whoever have to be a mediator to mediate this deal? Because how does a ceasefire, or how does whatever needs to be done negotiation wise, how does that get done?
I don't know. USA was in talks with Iran, and then obviously when those were going on their 6th round, Israel struck, which they coordinated that with Trump. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't think
Iran's
Trump
planning on talking to anybody anytime soon.
I think Trump actually gave him a 60-day window.
That's what I read.
And on 61, Israel gave him the good news.
Yes, that's what I understood.
Seth, I think that's how it went down.
Yes.
So Israel got with America and said, if by day 61 they've not agreed to these terms, or at least we've started talking about these terms, we're going to go ahead, and because we know by not agreeing to these terms that they're developing they're trying to develop an ability to be able to put nuclear warheads on a rocket, and we're their first target. And we can't as a world, we probably can't have that. There's some countries, aren't there only 2 countries that have nuclear capabilities?
No,
there's a ton.
Oh God, no.
It's like 12, 15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's, the big nuclear things are, U.S. and Russia, and then China, which is really far behind.
Canada?
I'm not sure.
I think they have some.
They may have a couple, but England, Italy, France,
All countries that seem very responsible and even keeled.
The NATO countries.
Like France is not going to go hog wild one day and launch missiles over to Great Britain. They're just not.
No, they're not. They'd be more likely to surrender to Switzerland.
All of these countries that you mentioned have nuclear capabilities. All seem like measured.
Except for Pakistan and India and Turkey.
They have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They both do.
Sometimes they have to fight it
India
out.
has more.
Huh?
India has more.
We're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
Nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran were canceled over the weekend.
And here's the deal, man. Let's say, and I'm not trying to be pro-Iranian here, but I'm just trying to think about those stinky Iranians and how they're thinking. And that is, okay, we don't want to be told what we need to be doing at any one time. First of all, strike one. And then strike two is we're close to getting nuclear warheads that we can put on rockets and launch to wherever we want. We're real close on getting that. And who are they to tell us we can't do that? And so, and as we are getting closer to that, they're starting to blow us up now. So I can see where they could be really, really mad about it. But we, have established that they are a very irresponsible country, and they're going to use them against Israel, our number one ally.
Well, it seems
like one of our top allies.
It seems like the nuclear weapons are being kept out of the hands of the Middle East, out of the hands of inner Africa. Because, in the Middle East, there's been fighting for thousands of years. And we just know that one of these countries is just going to lob a nuclear weapon onto the other one just out of spite.
Now, what is the average nuclear weapon look like? I know they come in different shapes and sizes, and we probably have the biggest that could do the most damage. But like a country like Iran that would happen to have a nuclear warhead, how catastrophic could that be? I mean, is it equivalent to what we dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Does it have a 5-mile fallout? Does it,
it's bigger than that.
The nuclear weapons now, Bubba, are much more powerful than what we dropped on Japan 70 years ago.
For real?
Yeah.
Because those killed 80 and 100,000. Mm-hmm. What we dropped on Japan.
But it depends on the population of what you're dropping it on.
Understood.
These weapons could, again, a nuclear weapon of today's caliber would completely take out an entire city and its suburbs.
And is it not only do you have to worry about the initial explosion, but then the fallout, correct?
The fallout's a problem, and then the residual
poison,
radiation.
right?
And the residual radiation's a problem because some people, some of these nuclear weapons are designed to be, they call them tactical. So you can go in, it becomes nuclear, it destroys everything, and then within a few days, it's safe again to re-enter. Where other nuclear weapons, once you discharge them, it could take 6 months to maybe even a couple of years to go into that area because it'll be so radioactive.
I think I've seen various articles talking about MacDill and how MacDill would certainly be a target because that's where Central Command is. Yeah. And then it showed how far out you got to worry about.
I'd be dead.
Oh yeah, you're definitely dead.
Oh,
Dan, Dan, you live 4 blocks from from the guard gate of.
Right.
I mean, literally, you could be MacDill North. I mean that's how you live as close to MacDill as any private citizen can live.
There's only a couple blocks before the entrance to the base. Yes.
I mean, there's a handful of people that got a couple houses closer. So let's say a nuclear warhead hits MacDill because that's where they're going to hit.
Right.
That's where they're going to go.
Although that's so hard to get to from these bad countries. Maybe not from Cuba, but from Iran or Russia.
Now, let me
or
ask
China.
you a question. Do you think
SOCOM's far?
Do you think in Pasco County and Citrus County and maybe Sarasota, Manatee that we have bunkers? Like that. Like the Iron Dome type bunkers to shoot that stuff out of the sky? Do you think we have that?
So I know that MacDill has evacuation shelters and a lot of stuff underground. MacDill has a huge, a half a city underground, so they're safe in the instance of a nuclear strike, probably. For the most part, the only someone just said Unity 17, right? The best way they would get to us would be subs, but I don't know how many submarines Iran has.
And I don't know that you can sneak a sub
You can sneak a sub.
Into the Gulf.
Oh
definitely.
definitely.
There's been a lot of submarines in the Gulf recently.
Yes, but you can
really?
definitely, yes, they could definitely sneak a sub into the Gulf.
I sent
that's
you
a
the
problem.
nuke map if you wanted to see.
Oh,
what
I definitely want to see that.
But we don't have like the private citizens in Tampa Bay don't have fallout shelters. They did up in the Panhandle, and people were building them in the 50s during the Cold War. But all the modern construction is like forgotten about it, and no one builds them anymore.
All right, so this is the nuke map.
Yes.
Right, but don't you want to put it like down here?
Yeah, you can put them. If you type in, you can put it there.
Might as well just put it on my house.
What do I do? Do I move
see
it?
where it says type in the city? You grab your little thing, or just grab that little.
Oh, grab this thing right here
and
drag it down to
right there. SOCOM, boom.
That's where it's getting. Hold on, just like about right there.
Yeah,
that's where they're hitting it. Now let me go
over to what warhead. What kind of warhead do you want?
Drag them
go down.
Okay. What kind of warhead do you want?
Iranian Gene Lasker looking warhead.
All right, hold on.
Like the lunchbox.
We got Davy Crockett. We got crude nuclear B-61 North Korean and some type of HED little boy. Gadget, Fat Man, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs,
right,
respectively.
Little Boy and Fat Man were this. Okay, so go Little Boy, which was the smaller of the two bombs. Little Boy.
Put in Fat Boy.
Okay, put in Fat Man.
Put in Fat Man.
Okay, Fat Man dunks.
Now I hit detonate. Let me.
Yeah.
Detonate.
Boom.
That's it. Seth, you're okay, buddy. You're way over here. You're way over there, bud.
This is not what I've heard about nuclear weapons.
Hold on. That's
80,
1942 cut. That's 1942 technology.
80-year-old technology. Now put a big boy one.
Let's get like here we go. The largest Russian bomb designed. Right?
Okay. Sure. Boom.
Hold on. Detonate. Oh, wow.
Okay, so now we're going all the way to Lakeland.
If you click on, see where number 3 says basic option, go up, and then it says radioactive fallout and stuff like that.
Yeah, hit all of it?
Well, just click I was going to say keep the air burst. Yeah, like that stuff. And then detonate it.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, so Florida's cut in half.
Hold on. It takes out a third of Florida.
The I-4 corridor.
It takes out
from Jacksonville to Fort Pierce.
From Jacksonville to Fort Pierce to Sarasota. Now, is that because the winds blow that way?
Yeah,
that's what I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets in the Gulf.
Let's look at casualties. Okay. Now, does that mean we all die? I mean,
gone, dude, gone. We're glass.
Everybody from Dade City down past Sarasota to Bartow. We're done. Wow. But that's the largest one.
So that's a 100 megaton one.
Yeah.
Use the 25. Go back. No, the one. No. You just two above 50? It. Castle Bravo. Was it? Look.
That's 15. That's 15.
Okay. So see what that does.
15 detonate. Oh,
boom.
That's still
all Tampa Bay and St. Pete and Brandon and Sarasota.
And Dan, you're really, me and Seth got a little bit of a sunburn. You're cooked. I mean, you're like,
gone.
Yeah, you're done.
Gone.
Oh, wait, I'm good in Lutz. All right.
Yeah, you're good, Lummy.
All right.
I mean, is this millions of people in Tampa, St. Pete?
Yeah, that's 2 million people right there dead.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Thank you.
So again, difficult to get that kind of weapon over here, unless it's through a submarine. But there are submarines here, and so. I think nuclear weapons.
What if we're out
deterrent.
jet skiing and next thing you know, like for instance, Dan, when you were jet skiing with little Danny
on Saturday,
and next thing you know, you see this badass, USSR nuclear submarine pop its head up and with its little periscope looking around, and you drive right over it. I mean, right? I mean,
I stop a nuclear war. I'd take out the periscope and the antenna.
I mean, but I guess they could get them in here, right?
They can.
I mean, when they drive submarines, do they drive them around the coral rocks and stuff? I mean, do they drive them? Is there somebody driving them? Because you got to drive. There's obstacles down there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they don't go on the bottom, Bubba. They go like 10 feet off the bottom, which there's not much of an obstacle.
Oh, so they don't go very deep.
No, they can go very, very deep, but they don't go all the way to the bottom. They'll travel
They'll
maybe
measure
10, 20 feet off the bottom so they don't hit rocks and
This
stuff.
has learned the State Department is instructing embassies nationwide to emphasize the message that the U.S. was not involved in the Israeli strikes on Iran. President Trump on social media also warned if the U.S. is attacked in any way by Iran, the full strength of the U.S. armed forces will come down at levels never seen before.
Here, I'm going to say something that I hope I don't get in trouble for, but I think it would. The reason why I say it is because I think it would make short work of this potential long-term situation that potentially just going back and forth. I would hope that that Iran did kind of mess with America a little bit. Maybe we get a few American casualties so that we are all in and we rain down on Iran like they've never seen before, and then it's over.
Yeah, but do we need to spend another $1 trillion and have another country hate us for the next 50 years?
Yeah. To save Israel. If not, it's just going to be back and forth. You know what? Iran's going to do just enough to keep America out of it so they can keep irritating Israel. And Israel's they're going to continue to defend themselves and try to, do what they want to do.
CBS News has all.
How much do you care about Israel?
A lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're one of the few Jewish people in America that really say that, because a lot of American Jews seem to not really care that much about it.
I think you're wrong. I think American Jews are proud of their. I think American Jews are very proud of their homeland and are very mindful of this.
Seth, what do you say about that? I think there's a good chunk that don't care.
I don't know a lot of Jewish people. I don't have a lot of conversations. So I
know
don't
quite a bit.
I don't know, but I feel for it. Like it's horrible to see this happen.
I agree with you there, but
every Jewish person I know is really, really involved in this and really, really concerned about this and wants this to be over. Every Jewish person I know, they love their motherland. They don't like this. They don't like this half-assedness, if you will, where there's no closure or like this is just, a volley, a tennis ball back and forth. Bam, 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 bam. I would like for us to get a couple American casualties, and then boom, we absolutely rain just absolute terror down on Iran. What are they going to do about it?
Also confirmed reports that President Trump opposed in Israel.
Is he at a baseball field, Lummy? Is he getting ready to do snag some grounders?
Yeah, he's going to take a little BP.
Plan to kill Iran's supreme leader, conveying to Prime Minister Netanyahu it wasn't a good idea. Natalie Brand, CBS.
I love Netanyahu. He wants to kill their Ayatollah. Let's not forget, this is the country that kept hostages from America for 444 days. And Jimmy Carter, the ass bucket, couldn't get them back. And within 24 hours of rapping Ronnie Reagan taking the I do oath, we had our prisoners back. This is that country, isn't it?
No, yeah, Iran, yeah.
News.
And it was 444 days, if I remember correctly. Almost in the entire term of Jimmy Carter, him trying to get these hostages back. These are those people.
White House.
They've never liked us. Have we ever had a positive relationship with Iran?
Before
ever?
1979, we did.
Okay, prior to 1979, have we ever had a positive relationship with Iran?
You mean since 1979?
Yeah.
Not really a good one. And by the way, they were aligned with Germany during World War II.
I know. Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bubba, it's Dave, West Palm.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, I wanted to run something by you, and because you talked about China earlier. So here's my thought. I think that COVID and that whole thing, I think that was a dry run for something that could be coming down the road. You already saw that woman that got caught for that whatever bio thing for the food. So if they attack us with some sort of bio agent, then at the same time they hit us with some sort of electrical, take out the power grid, infect our computers. Then at the same time they go in and attack Taiwan. Then we're screwed.
Dave, I love you to death, and you usually are a really, really good caller, but you got like 5 what-ifs that all have to happen in order for your theory to happen. I don't think...
But we've already tried. They've already tried to do it twice. They got COVID, and then they tried to do the food thing.
I mean, the food thing was, again, I think that was a nothing burger. And we obviously, I do believe that China did infuse COVID to our country. I am a believer of that. But I mean, I don't think that the rest of what you're saying. I mean, I'm not a believer in that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I can't bat 1,000 all the time.
No, you can't. But you know what? You're a great caller, and you bring up some great topics. And please don't stop. Please continue to call. Appreciate you, Dave, West Palm Beach. Thank you. Hello.
Hey, Bubba. I think Dave from West Palm's onto something. Like the citrus greening and the canker. Like, where did that all come from? Like, they're still trying to track that all down.
I think it came
but I
from
wanted
South
to talk
America.
to you. You mentioned the nuclear bombs. You got to keep in mind you're using that map, but a lot of that stuff is not used anymore. And Russia did set off that largest nuke one time in their own nation, and it leveled like 500 square miles of forest. But they don't use that anymore, and Elon was talking about it. The nations that are most likely to launch mass-scale nukes, like Dr. Dan was saying, are extremely tactical, and the radiation that the fallout and all that is going to be so minor because eventually it does wear off. Like, what you think of nukes, like going back to like when Seth was saying that's not how I envision it. It's all changed, man. It's all different. It's so tactical now, and then also the fallout is going to be so minor that
because they want to be able to occupy the area after they nuke it. You want to be able to go in. And you can't go in if it's radioactive. And
what do you mean minor fallout? Like, how many people die during a minor fallout of a nuclear attack?
I think initially a lot, Seth, and then it quickly dissipates so that the troops can come in and occupy the real estate.
The nuclear aspect of it is for the destruction. After that, the fallout, they need it to be minor so that one, either, hey, look, we're cool now, let's rebuild your nation, or, we need to get in there or occupy this land now and set everything up and try to rebuild and all that. So what we think of nuclear going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, like, is completely different now. That's out the window.
Yeah. Well, listen, none of us really know because none of us are any high-ranking military officials and know what we got or what they got or how we're going to use it or how they're going to use it. So, we really don't know. I mean, I guess there are some people that do know, but we really don't know. I think I maybe tend to agree with you where they come in and they flash kill everybody real fast.
Yeah.
And then the fallout quickly dissipates, and then you can send in your people to quickly occupy the real estate. That's probably the way it goes now. And the old school thinking of the fallout lasts, however long, and it goes with the wind stream, and next thing you know, Jacksonville's got to worry. Maybe that is an old school way to think of it, but none of us really know. And let's hope that none of us ever really have to know, because at that point, I mean, our country is as unstable and at each other's throats than I have ever. That probably collectively, all of us. Dan and I being the oldest. Dan, I can't think of the time that collectively our country was this unstable. Russia's in a war. Iran and Israel's in a war. We're toggling between a couple different ones. I've never seen it. I mean, outside of World War II. I've never seen the world this unstable and this stressed out and ready to pounce.
There's a lot of countries that have not recovered from the COVID disaster economically or socially, and there's a lot of animosity that's built up over the last 5 years. We have stoked it, we have promoted it, we have let it fester, and again, I talked about this about a year or two ago. I read a book that said, that the threat of global war, global famine, or global disease is gone. It's not gone. There could absolutely be a world war. There could absolutely be another viral pandemic.
Well, I think they figured.
I
think they, meaning whomever, have figured out that you don't need boots on the ground or helicopters in the air in order to take an entire world down, and they did that with COVID. So
Right.
I mean,
something is invisible took down the whole world.
So I think that there's a whole nother,
And think about how cheap it is. I mean, a nuclear bomb costs hundreds and hundreds, if not millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, to make. Those ICBM missiles are millions and millions of dollars to operate and to build. A virus could cost maybe $100,000 and take out an entire continent.
Yeah,
nations.
Yeah,
and you guys were talking too about the submarines. For them to get us, it's not even subs because they launch them high enough that they're picked up by space and weightlessness and still carried over to our nation and then dropped in. So you guys were saying really no one could get us without a sub, but that's not the case. They just get them high enough that they can sort of just float them over.
Hey man, I appreciate your call, bud.
Yep.
813-90 Bubba. Phone lines are blown up. I got to go to words. Back in a minute. Hold on.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
DeSantis.
I sent it to you too. It was in your messenger this morning.
Oh, okay.
I'll scroll back up real quick.
No, I got it.
It's at 5:45. It's the
right here.
one. Yeah.
All right.
You want to bounce? Oh, what about?
You're driving on one of those streets, and a mob
Can you
comes
see
in,
Jeff?
and we also have a policy.
Oh, okay.
You're driving on one of those streets, and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you. You have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the...
Perfect. It's short enough that I can tie it onto this one. We might be, we might be able to...
Oof.
All right, so you broke your leg, buddy. It's your fucking fault.
Right. Was this in Florida?
No, L.A.
Well, they don't have the same rules there. Ow.
And now they try to make it that person's fault.
Yeah, they're gonna in L.A.
Aren't you glad Bella's out of there?
Oh my gosh, yes. She's in Miami, which is a little LA. Miami's so nuts too.
Is Miami so fucking...
It's nuts, especially downtown. She literally was going to work the other day and some homeless guy smashed one of the big glass panels of her parking garage.
Really?
Yep. There's a lot of homeless there. It's run by, it's a very liberal city. It's a little nuts. It's a little LA.
I thought the mayor of Miami was Republican.
I don't know. I know the beach isn't, but I can't say for the city itself. It's still better than LA.
Oh,
it's just a big city, you know? She's crushing it
He's
down
further
there.
away, I believe.
Alcohol, like,
Yeah, he doesn't have his no opportunity there.
Yeah.
That country doesn't have.
Yeah, that's what they spend all their money on. Food for the supreme leaders and nukes.
That's right.
What's up? You get this one on? This computer?
Yeah.
What's up, Seth?
How you doing, Steve?
Living the dream.
Welcome back on your 2-day streak.
Yes.
that's not a streak you want to keep going all week. I got this. Is that good? Or something come out? Troubled times, man. Troubled times in the studio. Sanitizer running low. Only at Bath and Body Works. Beach water flavor. Beach water.
That sounds nice.
It's overpowering.
Oh.
It makes you wish your hands were disgusting once you put it on. What's up, Thomas? What's up, Dirt Merchant? What's up, Permagrom? What's up, Paul?
Iran's got to go around.
How do I comment on these? Can I?
You have to log in. YouTube.
Okay, I won't do it this one then.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So the next little bit of footage I'm going to show you. This is criminal and illegal in California, but heralded and championed and possibly cheerleaded in where we live. And I don't know that I've ever, seen our country more divided, not only with how we align ourselves politically, but just in the rules of engagement, so to speak, or just in the rules that we live our lives by. I've never seen it where one thing is, now take obviously abortion and some of those things out of the picture, because that's always been a state thing. But like now in California, if you want to block somebody that's just, this looks to be here like what is that? Is that like a Chevy Volt or it looks to be like
it's a small four-door sedan.
Yes, I don't know if it's a Nissan
Compact.
or it's
like a Kia kind of car.
Maybe a Kia, but it's a small four-door, newer styled four-door mini subcompact kind of deal. And this person looks to be, as I play the video, looks to be driving to work or driving to wherever during the day on a public street in Los Angeles. They're not driving erratically. In fact, they look like they're going probably 10 to 15 mile an hour below the speed limit because the area is occupied with a bunch of these protesters. Now, these protesters don't seem to be violent. Like, I don't see any cars on fire, or they're not throwing a brick at this person's car. But what they like to do in California is to get in front of your car and not allow you to continue your travel. And that's okay. That is, by their governor standards, Gavin Newsom, that's okay. Block all the cars you want. And here's the video. I had it here. Here we go. All right, so this guy looks like he's going through an intersection.
I think, yep.
And somebody, and it doesn't even look like there's that many, like this is not that many protesters. Now, it also looks like there might be some police officers or somebody of an official capacity here in high-vis, uniform. See them over here?
Kind of just hanging out.
Yeah, I don't know if those are cops or those are who they are, sanitation workers or what. So, and it only, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like 25.
Right. Well, 25 people can hurt one person.
Oh, no, 25 people can mob up and hurt you very badly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just find this unbelievable that 25 people can kind of just, first of all, be jaywalking and be in the middle of an intersection and there for the sole purpose of making you slow down. Because, you know, if you got a green light and there's 25 people in the intersection, you just can't gas it up and well, not in Los Angeles, and, you know, mow right through them. You have to slow down and try to navigate through them. And that's what this red car looks to be doing. So it's like, okay, I got a green, and I'm going to try to go, I'm heading this direction, and I have to try to navigate through these people because I got a bunch of nut jobs out here that are protesting something that they don't even know what they're protesting. But I got to be careful because I live in California, and you can't run over people. See, sir, if you lived in Florida, this is how we got it in Florida.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Boom.
That was published.
Yeah. Boom.
Amazing.
Boom.
What's the date on that?
That is on June 12th. June 12th at 8:12 a.m. So, but that's not the rules that this poor guy lives by. Nope. This guy would have no problems if he was in, you know, Lakeland or Tampa or Jacksonville or you know.
What problems does this guy have right now?
Well, I mean, maybe based on the injuries this person suffers. I mean, I'm thinking that...
Is the guy in jail?
I don't know. I think it just happened. So let me just play it for you. Then I have to turn it off real fast because they curse. So this guy's just driving through. Then, of course, these assholes from California, they know that you have to stop and you can't gas it up, you know, Florida style. So they get in front of them. Meanwhile, these people don't know this person in the red. The person in the red don't know these protesters. Him or her is just trying to travel to wherever they're trying to go. So it looks like this person's like, I'm not putting up with this nonsense. I'm just trying to travel freely. And so he gasses it up and runs over the fat girl. And I mean, she's probably so fat, Lummy, that it didn't do anything to her.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
It just gave her some nasty bruises in her pale skin.
Oh, that had to break some ankles, man.
I think Dan will tell you that your
car tires don't do as much damage as you think.
Yeah, I mean, that's over. I mean, yes, Seth, there is a possibility of a broken ankle.
Well, I'm just saying the way
a hyperflexed knee.
I get what Dan's saying. I'm just saying the way she just had her legs there was it seemed like it was all this like the shin that she stuck out there. Oh.
I mean,
Yeah, tib fib. It's between her knee and her ankle. So if her head over her thigh, she'd be better off. But if her head over between the knee and the ankle, she's not as good off.
Trying to go slow here.
She did it herself, man.
Oh, that's kind of
on
on her waist.
Yeah,
right there, kind of a little bit.
It says that it looks like they're saying that she had just leg injuries.
Yeah, leg injuries. That's what they say.
Scrapes.
That's what the Lightning says when a guy's got a lower body injury. He's not playing tonight.
Every person that
lower body injury.
Every video you showed the past couple of days of someone get run over by a car, they've all been totally fine afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's impact more than the rolling over.
Right now, if the car stopped on her leg and just then peeled out, I get it, but just a slow roll over your fat leg.
But Dan, your Cybertruck would do some damage to that leg, wouldn't it?
Well,
bigger tires do less damage.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you have more clearance.
And not only the clearance, it's also the weight's distributed more evenly. So they've got tires that are so big that they lower the pressure down to like 6 pounds, and a giant vehicle can literally run over you, and you're fine.
Can we do this bit tomorrow, Bubba?
What?
Vehicles running over us?
You want to start with
Lower my tire
the
pressure and run
We
over.
see who can handle. We start off with my Fusion, and then we work up
Can we
to
start with the
Gene's
smart
truck.
car first?
But
Seth?
isn't it? No, the smart car is so low to the ground that the undercarriage
Right.
could hang up on your short meat.
Right.
And the next thing you know,
Lights out.
The best bet would be the Cybertruck with low pressure in the tires because it's
Right.
a big tire. If you put the pressure down to like 10 or 12, it wouldn't be as big a deal.
But that in Tampa wouldn't be a problem. It's yet to be determined if it's going to be a problem in California or not. But it's just like amazing. And the reason why people in California are doing this is because their government tells them that it's okay to blockade cars. It's okay to impede their travel.
Now that's
protests are powerful.
That's on the criminal side, but I would still want them to call Diaco Law on that one. You know what I mean?
See what kind of
There's some
insurance guys
negligence
got?
there. Yeah.
Hi,
I
who's
think
this?
so.
Hello.
Hi, this is Chad from upstate New York.
Hi, Chad, upstate New York. What do you got?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you, Bubba, I've been listening to you for about the last 2 years on YouTube. I used to live in Florida back in 2002, and that's where I caught you down there. And I just got to tell you, you are the comeback story. I love listening to you every day, and I just thought I'd give you a little. I thought I'd put you over a little bit today.
Well,
I don't
thank
think
you.
People appreciate you enough.
Thank you, my friend. I got a lot of great people that help me do this, but thank you. I appreciate the accolades. Thank you,
I
sir.
just love the way you grind every single day. It's really inspiring, and I just wanted to tell you that from another 52-year-old guy that's grinding every day himself.
And I'm grinding, my friend. You wouldn't believe I am grinding my ass off. But thank you so much for the recognition. I appreciate that, my friend.
A couple of grinders.
That's all I wanted to say, Bubba.
It's a couple of grinders.
You're one of the best, Bubba. Truly.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, but you have such talent, and I see great things ahead. I really do. It ain't over.
So.
It ain't over
I
yet.
hope it ain't. It ain't
Let's
over.
go.
We got a few things cooking.
Yep.
We got a few irons in the fire. Hello.
Hey, Bubba, love the show. I got two quick questions for you.
Okay.
One is, when can we get a Ramino dial-a-date? And how about a discussion about your BS money grab lawsuit on MJ?
You know what? It's not MJ, it's Calta, but I appreciate you trying to be a
Calta,
troll.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. That just shows you how. You know what? If you're gonna be a troll,
He practiced so hard, man.
Write it down. Okay. Rehearse it several times. Okay. If you're trying to get Dan in a big gotcha moment, make sure this is my Dan deal. And then here's my little Bubba section. I'm going to get him on that and rehearse it. Just shows you how untalented you trolls truly are. And outside of your little forums and things like that, yes, you could never do what we do.
Come on, there's some good.
Even when we put you live on the air, unsolicited, unscreened, you screw it up. You guys are a bunch of untalented trolls.
There's some talented trolls out there. You don't give them all a bad name because that smooth brain decided to call up and actually speak instead of type.
Well, thank you, Seth, for standing up for the trolls. I appreciate that. It's really very pro corporation that pays your the salary.
Yeah, well,
Appreciate
the
it.
trolls are the ones that just listen to the show the most and interact the most.
There's about 20 of them. So anyway.
Urgent warning tonight from the FBI.
The guy, Lummy, thought that he was just going to get us and trip us all up. And sir, I don't even know what you said made sense. Like, if anybody who's not just super hyper focused on the hate part of our program and the inner workings of our private life, the average person doesn't know what you're talking about. And so how good of a troll are you if nobody even knows the troll message you're trying to deliver? Like, nobody understands what you try to say. Idiot. But you know what? You stick to your menial job, living with your mom, and here's the one thing I appreciate more than anything. I should give you some credit. You listen to this every minute of the show. And then you find it necessary to go to various forums and dissect the show. And then you find it necessary to go to those dissections and to find places where you can try to get gotcha moments on the show. And then you hate the show so bad that you actually call the show and try to get a gotcha moment on the show. Here's what I don't understand. You know what, sir? I don't like women's soccer. I don't watch women's soccer so that I can go to a women's soccer forum and talk bad about them and how much I hate them, and then go to a women's, I don't know if there is a women's soccer show, but call the women's soccer show and try to get a couple zingers in on them. And while doing that, hate the players so bad within the league that I try to infiltrate their personal world and get some type of inside Iggy on them on their personal world. We have personal lives, we do. And you know what? We are open to criticism because we're public figures. But if you're going to be a troll and you're going to try to at least practice, okay, buddy? I expect far more from you as a troll. So the next time you call in, really, really have it down, okay? That will further trip us up, okay? Because I've never been tripped up by a troll. I've never had a troll call me in and ask me an uncomfortable question. I've never had that, sir. You'll be the first. Idiot.
Warning tonight from the FBI, urging Americans to think twice before sending that next.
Jesus Christ, what's going on, buddy? Hey. This guy here.
Urging Americans to think twice before sending that next text.
These are the Chinese people they're sending over to try to do biological warfare on us. They're disguising as newscasters.
He's got worms on them.
Message. Hackers from China have allegedly breached the telecommunications system. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso has more on what you need to know to
Hackers from China story, and the Chinese guy has to give us the setup on the deal.
Protect your sensitive.
Listen, he very well may not be Chinese. I'm not trying to be insensitive to what his nationality is. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he could be Korean.
He could be Vietnamese. He could be Korean. He could be a lot of different things. You know what? He's a pretty good person now, isn't he? Thanks.
A Chinese threat actor, a Chinese.
Now this guy, on the other hand, John Day, is that
John Jay?
John Jay?
Yeah.
This is John Jay?
John Jay.
Man, how narcissistic are you if you wear I guess it would be the same as wearing a Bubba Army T-shirt.
Oh, to protect your
if I had a John J. lapel. Hey, let's not forget about my brand new lunch boxes here, ladies and gentlemen.
$23.99.
$23.99. You can get a 12-pack in that bitch.
Tell him Bubba sent you.
Go to Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army store.
Great.
You like that, don't you?
I want one,
oh,
yes.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Dan's got one.
10% off for you, Steve.
That's all right. Nice. I'm going to buy one.
You get one for free.
I want it.
A Chinese threat.
Hey, John Jay! Duh, we all know that.
And those are the text messages you need to worry about.
Oh!
It's known
green people!
as the Salt Typhoon cyber breach.
And when you say
we got to cut
need to
ties
be
with
worried about,
droids.
I mean, are they going to say like what? All of a sudden they're going to get these messages and put them where? Like, what are they going to do?
They might
with
whack
them?
off to our messages, Bubba.
U.S. officials say the
They're going to whack off to our messages, ladies and gentlemen.
I was wondering about this because I've been sexting Phoebe the last couple of days, and it's been coming back in Chinese. So now I'm glad we got to the bottom of this.
One, it shows up green, and second, it's Chinese college. Never heard of such a thing.
I haven't
Americans will.
What's that?
I haven't heard of that. Have you?
Burger of a story. Be afraid. Chinese have learned how to hack into an iPhone that texts to an Android Willie.
They're going to steal your shopping list.
And they're going to steal my
grocery list.
The Armed Irishman on YouTube said, super concerned about the hacker seeing my wife asking if I mowed the lawn yet.
But they can't hack those new T1 phones from Trump.
That's right.
Hack.
Just want to let you know my phone's unhackable. With the new Trump phone, you get the U.S. government that stands behind all messages. That would be pretty cool if you did buy Trump cellular. You got like the FBI that
Except when they use it against you.
That's true.
Aren't they gold? Dan
Yes, they
has to
are.
have one.
Well, Dan's gonna
$500.
Dan, are you gonna get a Trump phone?
I have no idea even what they look like.
They're gold
Are they
phones.
Apple? Are they Apple?
No.
Lummy, will you send me one real fast? Because Dan,
I just sent you the T1.
You're gonna have the green text message via Jobber.
Yes, you're gonna have a green text message.
I don't know. Like, are they on Mint? Like what?
He says they're on three
they sure are pretty.
big towers.
All right, so $499 down payment of $100. Dan's just gonna pay cash for it. It's the T1 802 gold version. It's an
awful lot like an iPhone 11.
It's got 500. Well, yeah, to me
12.
Except it's made in the U.S. of A.
That's right.
Is it really?
Fingerprint sensor and AI face unlock. So, man, Trump is just a grifter, is he not? I mean, like
totally.
I mean, like what the hell?
We're gonna get a Bubba phone.
And no, hell no. I don't want to get into
yeah,
this.
Bubba beepers. Get back in that.
beepers were stop.
Okay.
I did make a lot of money with my beepers.
Exactly.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
As well made as an iPhone.
No, it isn't. But I mean, for all I use a phone for, I'm sure it'd be adequate.
If you're on the phone all fucking day.
Yeah, but I don't like do stuff when I use phone, email and phone.
All right, guys, have a great day.
See you,
Bye,
Dan.
Daniel.
See you, man. Take it
So you
easy.
could pretty much use a BlackBerry, is what you're saying.
Well, those are so weird with all the pads. I don't want not a BlackBerry, but I could use a pretty basic
BlackBerry.
iPhone.
My backpack back here?
Oh, no, it's right here.
Whoa.
And then go ahead and take this.
Oh, no, Bubba, I got one.
Are you going for him?
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
He's got one for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we're okay. I just want to make sure we're on time here.
I knew those droid people were bad for you. I would have an app on that phone where you could text Trump directly. What's this? Oh, is this a lunchbox?
It's your lunchbox.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Did you get Steve one?
Yes.
Nice. Thank you, guys. That's awesome.
I'm going to use it to transport organs.
It's big. I could bring fish back with that after fishing.
It's pretty big.
He's gonna have it all bloodied up.
Yeah, man.
What in the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Exactly, Jason Morley. Maybe not caviar. Not nice. Caviar. The orange Irishman. Shoot, that's star. That thumbs up for Steve.
I want to be locked in a bomb shelter in Israel with Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, she was over there for Tel Aviv Pride when they started bombing. So she went into the bomb shelter and was like drinking and fucking doing selfies and shit.
Was she partying in the bunker?
Partying in the bunker, dude. What a hoe.
You're down there long enough, right, Seth?
Yeah. That's right.
See what that doctor said.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army, BubbaArmyTips.com direct. Or always sign up and, if you'd like, to BubbaArmyHQ.com. Gives you access to our entire library. You can either download it or you can stream it based on what level of membership that you get. Don't forget, BubbaArmyMerch.com has the new soft-sided cooler that all of us... Even, you know you're onto something, Lummy, when Seth Kushner wants one, and it's not going to go on his eBay account. He actually wants one.
That's right.
So this is a first. I can't tell you the last time that he actually...
What? I was banging on it. I'm going to start doing, things that really need a lunchbox, Bubba, now that I have it. I'm going to, kind of...
Pack a lunch?
I'm going to build my life around the lunchbox now, a new life.
Oh, a new life.
Yes.
Okay. Like, if you were to, pack something to snack on.
Yes. Hummus and carrots.
Is that what you would bring?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
With maybe a little, a Reese's cup in there.
Because I got, a refrigerator behind me, and I have, cottage cheese and yogurt.
That's rugged, man.
And stuff well, yeah. I mean, I try.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Let me, that line one is probably that troll that is rehearsed many a times and is trying to get...
that's our other troll.
Oh, is that Charlie?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I might as well say hi to him and not let him say a word. You ready? Nothing's more frustrating. Chomo Charlie just wanted to say hi and bye. See you later, buddy. I mean, that's got to be just so...
waiting all that time.
Oh, yeah. And you don't know, Lummy, when I'm going to pick it up. So, and you're a Chomo. Somebody's like, Charlie should sue Bubba for defamation and slander. First of all, we don't know his real name. We don't know his real name's Charlie. Mm-hmm. We've not identified any other aspect of his life, where he lives, what his real name potentially could be. Nothing. And we've just denoted him as a Chomo. Chomo Charlie. We don't know. I mean, He could live in Oregon. He could live in Indiana. He could be right next door. Chomo Charlie. Well, you know what? Steve, that's the biggest misconception people have. Is like, I'm going to sue you for defamation slander. What you don't realize, because I've been through it, is that even when somebody has a somewhat of a legitimate case, I mean, I called MJ's wife a whore. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, right? I mean, Steve, so much of which that it went to a trial, and your lovely brother, best counsel ever.
He is the best, isn't he? It's real. Well, they had it so stacked against you,
and here's the thing,
and he
man.
still pulled up that one. But they're hard to win.
And he's not, usually a First Amendment guy. When he that's not his lane.
That was his first case. That's right.
That's not his lane.
That's right. Which is really crazy.
But he made it his lane. He owned it. He won in a jury trial. Took. What was it? 4 hours? I think 4 hours of deliberation.
Isn't he beautiful to watch in trial? I mean, his closing is, and he does that in any case. He's just such a warrior. He's one of the best lawyers I know. And everybody, talks about law firms and lawyers and, I want to hire this one or the biggest that or whatever. Jay tries the cases. You have the guy on the wall doing your work. There's nobody else doing it.
And when people think that you have a slander or a libel or defamation case, realize a couple things. One, you have to suffer damages. You have
Correct.
to have real damages, meaning like you lost, let's say you own a construction company and you were on my phone. You called my show up one day and you said, "Hey, this is Jim from ABC Construction." All right, me and you get in an argument. I call you a stupid ass. Your construction company sucks. It does shoddy work. And, I hate you. See you later, Chomo. You got to, one, have lost a significant amount of business from that exchange that we had. You have to show that I had malice and was trying to do that to you. And then, most people don't realize that you have to have damages in order to prove defamation, slander, liable. And most people in a fleeting type argument or a name calling or something like that, that's where they're stuck. And that's where, we should have actually, Stephen, but because the odds were stacked so against us, we should have won on summary judgment.
100%.
Should have gotten thrown
Should have
out.
never, ever gotten to a jury.
Hold on. Let me just stop this. Should have conflicted Phil Campbell out.
Yeah.
He was legitimately my attorney in an early on case that I had when I was at 98 Rock.
That's why I don't have a problem with Trump doing these pardons, because there's a lot of people like you that have been just abused and mistreated by the system and should never have gotten as far as they went or punished as severely as they were.
I can remember we were in the judges' chambers and Jay and Greg Herring and they're like, "Listen, we're going to go to the judges' chambers for this conflict. There's no, even Greg, who's a little bit more, both him and Jay are very measured. They don't get above their skis very often, meaning they're not going to tell you, yes, we're going to win. They're both going to tell you, hey, listen, things go one way, things go another. You can never tell where a judge is going to go, let's just see what happens. That's what the majority of their answers are. But both of them, we're riding up the elevator and Greg says, I cannot see how he allows Phil to continue to represent MJ. I just cannot see it. There's case law, I just can't see it. This guy represented you in a similar type situation. And this guy, Phil Campbell, he taught you the framing phrases of how not to get sued, in my opinion. So I've been told, allegedly. I don't know it to be true. Think that Phil Campbell taught me.
That judge was he hated you.
So
and he hated all of us.
Oh, he hated you too.
What a bad guy. What a bad judge.
So Phil Campbell, early on in my 98 Rock career, he's the one. I had a 2-day little training session with him in the Clear Channel conference room where I had to practice, saying, in my opinion, allegedly, rumor has it, word on the streets, don't know it to be true. I had to make sure when I was going to say something controversial about somebody that I needed to frame it as such. He's the one that taught me that.
Yep.
And here we are arguing about something that's very similar.
Right on point. But you know what? He should have been removed. The case should have been thrown out. The fix was in. And this is before everybody knew about these prosecutors being, biased and these judges being biased and these cases being used to destroy people. Trump has really brought that to light. And that's one of the greatest things that he's done for our country, is to show how corrupted the legal system has become, and it's
weaponized.
Shameful.
I've had it weaponized against me. You've had it weaponized against you. So we roll into. He's retired now. I can say his name, Judge Arnold, and I'm not saying I can say anything I want about him.
So
he's an absolute crook.
Yep.
He's an absolute piece of shiz. And you know what? I say that in my opinion, and I don't say it allegedly. I say it firsthand because I experienced it.
So did I.
So I can say it. I have the standing to give my opinion about Judge Doug. Is it Doug Arnold? I don't know what. No, it wasn't Doug Arnold. It was Jugs. I don't know what his first name was.
Yep. But he was also, he abused Jay too. Just horrible.
Listen, as we sit down, and there's three to a side. It's me, Greg Herring, and Jay. It's Judge Arnold in his little chair. And then it's Phil, MJ, and his wife. God forbid you travel anywhere without your wife. Jesus. So he goes, Greg lays it out. Because Greg was part of my early counsel too. This was Jay's first thing with me. And so, Greg, with all due respect, Judge Arnold, I have represented Bubba before in a defamation slander case against Florida Highway Patrolman, Officer Giles. And in that case, Bubba had a 2-day conference with Phil. Phil was not co-counsel, but we used Phil as a consultant to teach Bubba moving forward. Clear Channel wanted to make sure that they didn't go through this again. So rather than just to call, like I got on the air and be like, Power Pig, Bubba the Love Sponge, I got pulled over by this guy named Officer Giles. He's a real asshole. I'm going to tell you something. He's so old. He had to have an IV bag when he was walking up to my car, and he sucks. And I wasn't speeding, and he's old as dirt. And I bet his kids hate him. I bet he doesn't get any ass. I was just going crazy, right? And I wasn't saying, Stephen, any of the things that Phil had taught me because I hadn't had Phil camp yet.
Right.
So Greg lays out to Judge Arnold. Judge Arnold, Bubba, I was lead counsel on, Giles versus Clem and Clear Channel, iHeart, whatever, 98 Rock, J-Core. And Phil, I used as a consultant, and Bubba had a 2-day thing with him on how to frame some of his shocking statements that he makes on the air. For instance, Phil taught him to say, in his opinion, I don't know it to be true. Hot news, rumor on the streets. And then Judge Arnold said to Phil, Mr. Campbell, did you indeed have a 2-day conference with Mr. Yes, I did. And were you paid for that? Yes, I was. And is the testimony to what Mr. Clem says that you taught him the various phrases true? Yes, they are. And in fact, Phil actually brought up like 2 that I'd missed that I forgot. And so, Judge Arnold asks for us to give him 10 minutes because he wanted to look up some case law or something like that. So me, Jay, and Greg Herring go out of his office, and we're told to come back like in 10 or 15 minutes. And Greg's like, boy, that couldn't have gone. Greg says this. That couldn't have gone any better. And Jay's like, yeah, I mean, Phil even corrected Bubba that he missed 2. Be like, so we're like thinking, MJ's in trouble. Now MJ's got to re-lawyer up, and there's probably not a lot of lawyers that are going to take this case because it's not a winner. And Phil, I can say this because it's truthful, Phil absolutely raped MJ over the coals with fees and didn't tell MJ that the largest defamation media case up to that point was the largest award up to that was $64,000. Remember that, Stephen?
Yes.
The largest media defamation, slander, liable award was like somewhere in like Vero Beach or something like that. Some newspaper had to pay some chick, some old bag, like $64,000. That was the largest at the time, defamation, slander media case. So when MJ's meeting with Phil and they have, thoughts of, remember part of the trial? Well, Phil goes, how much is this worth? $1.5 million, $2.5 million.
Yes,
Remember that?
I do. I do.
And so Phil never told MJ that the largest settlement prior to what we're fixing to do was $64,000. So we're thinking now MJ's got to go try to find a whole nother attorney. There's not a lot of guys in town that's going to take this. They're just not. I mean, Stephen, when you ran the firm, there's loser cases. There's cases that you say no to.
We would have never taken that case. Because Jay's very selective.
Oh,
never,
very.
because you got to, you're working for free, and well, not in this case, but typically on a contingency fee case,
right?
You only get paid if you win.
And Phil knew that he couldn't take it on contingency because it wasn't a big money case.
No, the case was meant to destroy.
Phil knew I'm gonna hourly it up, and I'm going to destroy Bubba in doing it.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And his client was cool with that. That's why he still ended up having to pay most of those fees.
At all costs.
Yep. Because it wasn't meant for the merits of the case. Come on.
We go back down in, we file in, and they look distraught. And we look like, we just won Powerball. I mean, I can remember, like, I was feeling really good, and Judge Arnold goes, just wanted to let you know that I don't see any reason whatsoever that Phil can't represent Mr. Schnitt. And I said, what in the hell? And he goes, excuse me? And I shut up real fast because I didn't know if he had, power of, like, I don't know. I didn't know if you could get in Trump.
Sure.
I didn't know if you could get in, like, contempt in the chambers. I know you could get contempt if you're, rolling around in this courtroom, but I didn't know that. And Jay said, be quiet. And then they argued, Jay and Greg argued the case, and I'm sorry, he's allowed to continue. And I'm like, you don't understand, Your Honor. He knows everything about me.
Yep.
He knows, I said, he even knows about Ned. I remember saying that.
Yes.
And they're like, because, Ned was a big K5 at the time. And so, of course, Phil had to bring up during depositions, tell us about Ned. And of course, under oath, I have to say, well, Ned's not a real person. He's, a character played by Manson. And, we at that point, that's, we weren't there yet. We end up in the latter years of Manson working with me, making fun that Ned was played by two people. But at that point, it was a K5. And then all the trolls, Lummy, read the depositions and saw me, honestly, truthfully testifying that Ned ain't real.
That's right.
So don't think that didn't shove up my ass.
Crazy.
So
crazy.
Oh, the just how this system has really screwed me over on either not prosecuting somebody, letting somebody go. The Bubba factor.
It's been for years.
And people,
from the pig on.
People think that I'm trying to feel sorry for myself or whatever when I say that there is a Bubba factor.
I don't know, because now that people see the Trump factor, it's really exposed the abuse and unethical behavior that judges, lawyers, and courts allow for.
State attorneys,
prosecutors. It's really been exposed. It wasn't when you were going through it. It was, what are you talking about? It's the legal system. It's fair.
Like Erica and her situation.
Which, again, that's going to be... Jay would never have taken that case if he didn't believe in it, if she didn't have legitimate injuries. And,
but here's the deal. Like the fact that the state attorney, and I don't want to talk too much about this, the state attorney came back to her, and it's the Bubba factor. He knew who her boyfriend was, and he told the state attorney, I can't wrap my head around this. The state attorney told her that you were the aggressor. You're lucky he doesn't press charges on you.
What a joke. When the phone was taken, that was the aggression. That was the first incident that started the entire it's been in the news lately, and I sent that article to John Morgan because I want Saturday night, Lummy, after I was having texting exchanges with John Morgan, and I said, John, try to shoot a hole in this and tell me where I'm wrong. And he's like, well, it starts out with snatching and grabbing, and then it ends up with a battery. So what else is how did I said the state attorney said that she is the aggressor and should have been charged. And what did he say?
He said, well, Bubba, you always get effed. He said, F-U-C. You always get effed over. They never do you right.
No, but didn't he say about the lawsuit that they better get their pen out?
Oh, well, I guess I will say that. He said, somebody better sharpen their pencil.
Right.
That's what he said.
Because the check's going to be written. So, yeah.
Well, here's the deal, because...
I'm sorry she got hurt. That was really, a 300-pound pig pushing around a small, tiny girl like that is just gross.
And you know what? Here's what people don't realize. And I actually read it to you yesterday, and I'm not going to get too far down the road on it. But, some people were like, well, she grabbed him first. Well, no, she didn't. He grabbed her phone first. But there is a state law and a state statute that says this. In Florida, you can generally use non-deadly force to get your personal property back if somebody has taken it from you and is refusing to return it to you.
Correct.
You have the ability. If Steve takes my phone, it's legal for me to grab his arm or try to grab him and to get my phone back.
Yep. If that wasn't the case, Jay would have never, as much as he loves you and would, do anything within the framework of the law, he's not going to work for free. No. And he's not going to take a case where there's not legitimate injuries. And so, Bubba Army, anybody that's been hurt in an accident that's not their fault, he gets people paid. He's always done that. And Bubba Army's been so supportive of the firm and of us. And I'm just grateful for that. Thank you, guys.
He's got a big one with that mall gimmick, doesn't he? I can't go any further with it, but that mall gimmick.
He does. And another Bubba listener referred a case that's really tragic. A child, pushed through a screen at an apartment and fell to its death. And
really?
Yeah. And that was a Bubba Army listener referred that case, a friend of theirs that it happened to. And we're going to get a recovery. You can never, get the life of a child back, but they're going to pay for that. And there's so many kids.
I can't even wrap my head around that.
It's brutal. Can you imagine a young child and the parents for feeling guilty, like, we just turned our back for a second. You expect that your windows and screens are secure. And it was negligently maintained. And Jay's going to get real recovery for that family.
When we return, U.S. acting U.S. Attorney U.S. Acting Attorney Thompson details, the whack job from Minnesota that he actually, I think, stopped at 2 other people's homes trying to kill them, but I don't think they answered the door.
I think one was on vacation. That's right.
Yeah, we'll get to that next.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
I'd say the breaking news from TMZ.
I broke there, Seth, because I want to be early on 7.
Ancient
no
art.
problem. Yeah.
Acupuncture Largo, $5. Thank you, Ancient Art Acupuncture Largo.
Ancient Art Acupuncture Largo.
Yeah, Steve, I think you need to get some acupuncture.
No fucking way.
I've never done that. I've heard great things about it.
You know what? I've heard good things about it too.
You know who used to do a lot of that was Jimmy Clevis.
Oh, Jimmy did?
Yep. When his back was broken, couldn't fix that, but
even
he kept going to the chiropractor, getting cracked, and his back was broken.
What? Remote control for the little player. It depends on where they put it. Steve, they can put it right in your face.
For the I got to pee real fast. It's got to be around here. You almost eat a whole fucking. Is that it? Almost eat a whole box of remote controls. Hi, Warren.
Hello, Bubba. Oh! Here it is on the floor. Get it? Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to do the pigmentation at 11.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, all right, cool.
And I don't have to render at the top of the hour when we're done, so we can just start whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, all right, cool. Thanks, dude. Steve, if Bella's on the East Coast. Who's staying in Mac Daddy house?
Her boyfriend. His house sitting. He's working in Tampa. And
Man,
watching the dog.
what a good gig. What a great gig.
Oh man, zero too. He's
How long does she got to be in Miami?
Just 10 weeks. She's got only like 7 more weeks left.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's only a temporary gig over there.
Yes,
Okay.
for the summer, but at a really prominent firm, and she's just. I'm so proud of her.
Okay,
Man.
so but she'll come back.
She'll be back for.
And then maybe go to Stetson.
1 more year.
Okay.
Yep. That's year 3, and then she's done.
And then Jay folds her in, right?
Well, yeah, she's learning patent law. She passed the patent.
Oh,
bar.
do you know? I know the one who represents me, the best one in Tampa. I'm a client.
Really?
And Anton Hopen.
What firm do you know?
Yeah, Hopen. It's his firm.
Oh, okay. Because
and he's done all my federal trademarks. He's done all of my.
Yeah, she's doing the intellectual property and the trial work. She's another trial attorney like Jay. She's on trial team, won a national competition, competed in several.
Now, could Jay fold that in?
Well, the whole thing is like, let's learn some new business. Let Bella is like.
Why couldn't Jay make that a new subsect of his?
Exactly. So she's learning the business and is working at a really incredible firm and working on really famous stuff actually.
Smith and Hopen
in South Florida. She can't talk about her clientele, but
he's the one that got the 12 Boots of Christmas trademark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, respect.
Oh yeah, he's gotten me several U.S. trademarks.
That's cool.
And then he puts me on a 10-year ticker because every 10 years they expire. So at like 9 years and 2 months, he sends me a reminder.
That's cool. Now that's a specialty area: copyright, trademark, patents. But now patents, you have to pass a specific bar exam. You have to have a science and math background, which Bella did. Most people are not eligible for it. I couldn't take it. Jay couldn't take it. So, and then the patents are like, that's what Nick's doing, with his inventions and stuff. And so patent litigation, a small case is $25 million.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you're talking about pharmaceuticals, you're talking about equipment, machines, technology,
airline industry.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So, Steve, does she have like? I'm not gonna just. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Does she have to do yet another summer of maybe clerking or working for a firm that specializes in that particular area? Because if she does, I got my guy is based out of Tarpon.
Yeah. She next summer she'll sit for the bar, the Florida bar exam. And then she's going to work in that industry. She wants to really learn that business and become an expert in it. So,
like you said, those cases aren't dealing with somebody's PIP insurance and uninsured motorist Willie and all that nonsense that you poor guys got to go through. This is, Fortune 500 company A taking on Fortune 500 company B. For $40 million.
Yes,
right. That's what those type of cases are.
Exactly, and she has the skills to try the cases. She has the science background to understand the patent law. She has a brother that can go through anything and see if someone's really copying or cheating on a patent. And no, it's really high level stuff.
What's that stud doing nowadays? The only person that really intimidates Danny, Nick Diaco. What's he doing nowadays? Is he out of school yet, or has he got 46 more years left?
He's got 1 more year at MIT to get his PhD, his doctorate in mechanical engineering and material science, and he just got published. He's been articles all over the country and the world actually on his new technology. The kid is making magic. And so now venture capitalists are coming to him, major investors are coming to him.
Jay took me aside one day.
Crazy.
We're walking out. I always walk you guys out to your cars, except for Danny because he's on he's going 1,000 miles an hour. And I was talking to Jay. I don't know, this is like 2 years ago, and he goes, "Do you know how we all might retire?" And I go, "I don't know, Jay. There's no retirement in sight." And he goes, Nick is going to hit something that's like 300 or 400 million one of these days. And that's how we're all going to retire, is from Nick.
Well, it's possible, and I told that to Dan. I said, Dan, if you don't want to be, selling boobies for the rest of your life, because there's a lifespan for plastics. I mean, he's on his feet for 8-10 hours a day when he's operating.
Right.
And I said, so you want that next level of money? You need to lock in with Nick.
Yeah.
And start helping him, because Danny really is of the same intellect and intelligence as Nick, and he could really help him expand and grow. And
now,
then Jay's
is Nick
the big stick.
Nick's going to be when he graduates from MIT, his PhD from MIT, then what does he go into does he go into the private sector, or does he work for the government? Is he a consultant? What's like, we know where Bella's headed. We know that she's going to pass the bar, then she's going to specialize in a certain type of law. And where she lands is either going to be with a big firm that specializes in that, or Jay might take that new specialty on. But what about Nick? Like, where's Nick head? Where does he head?
So Nick, people with
By the way,
PhDs,
we're talking about Steve, his kids, and
Nick
his kids.
Diaco.
Like his kids are just unbelievable.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you. When I find their dad, I'm going to kick his ass.
Yeah, it's probably your brother.
It's probably Dan.
It's probably Dan.
We were living together at the time.
I know you guys were.
Oh,
I
my
know.
God.
And you pissed Chris off a few times. You probably went up there. I'm just saying. So Nick's got another year. He's got, at that point, man, listen to this, Lummy, or maybe Seth, a PhD from MIT.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm so proud of that boy.
So what does he do? What happens
Okay,
next?
so a lot of these guys, and a lot of them are propeller heads. They're weirdos. They're on the spectrum. They're so smart. Nick, though,
he's a bird
skills.
watcher. He's a bird watcher.
Yeah, but you should wait till you see the girl he's dating. Smoke show.
New one since the last one?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, she's a model. She's beautiful. He's really coming into his own. But he has social skills. He can interact with anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, a lot of these kids go into academia. Some of them go into government work. Nick worked for the Air Force Research Lab, which is
at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
That's correct.
Right?
Wow, I'm impressed.
I've been there before.
And they sent everyone home. When he got there, he got this big gig for the summer, and COVID hit, and they sent everyone home. And Nick's like, okay, well, I'll see you guys later. And they're like, not you. You stay.
You stay, smarty pants.
And he did. And so that's another avenue you could go. But Nick really wants to go into the private sector. He wants to monetize his knowledge and inventions, and he wants to make stuff. He wants to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. or working overseas
now, is there
with allies.
any type of manufacturing, or just manufacturing in general? Because I got an idea. I was born and raised in what is declared the orthopedic capital of the world, which is Warsaw, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
It's the orthopedic cap. It's where they make all hips, knees,
big money there.
Shoulders,
big money in that industry. Big
money. And a friend of mine, who I went to high school with, who has since retired out for like $20 million. He went to Purdue, and he didn't have near. I mean, he's probably maybe as smart as Nick, but didn't have the credentials as far as a PhD from MIT. But he was a designer and an engineer for the hip division for Johnson & Johnson.
Wow.
Which
That's
was
huge.
And I mean, he was well, they retired him out and gave him $20 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I take that all day.
So I mean, that the medical industry is such a large industry. Nick could dabble in that maybe.
For sure. Okay, so his groove is 3D printing, and he's invented. He has several patents in that sector, and so 3D printing does do a lot of things that go into medical devices. Yes, and dental. Hearing aids. There's a whole component of it.
Imagine if Nick ended up back in Warsaw, Indiana. What a full circle.
I'd love it, because that means we're making stuff in the U.S. and we need to do more of that, and that's what his real dream is. So bringing jobs to America, making things here in America, especially things that.
Now, will there be after he graduates? Could there be like a bidding war amongst companies that would want to hire a guy that's this accredited?
Yes, and sadly, that's happening right now. He speaks fluent Chinese, and the Chinese
Is it Mandarin
government,
or Chinese?
Mandarin.
Right.
Mandarin, which, there's Mandarin and Cantonese. They're the two languages of the Chinese people. The Mandarin is the business language. And they've been courting him.
So hold on.
The Chinese.
He speaks full blown.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah, he worked over there. I mean, he can speak it
Wow.
like, conversationally.
Let me.
reads it
Can you
right to-
imagine? I'm dumb. I can't. Can you imagine having a kid that smart?
No.
Let alone being that smart. Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird. You know, he's one of the greatest, and I say this humbly, but he's one of the greatest minds in the world. And China.
And the other thing is, he's a good kid too.
Thank you. And most importantly, he is a good kid, and I got great kids. They're amazing, and their mother is a big part of why they are that way. But
Oh yeah,
the
she's probably the
Chinese-
major part. You didn't have much to do with it.
Not much. I was just grinding, trying to bring home the bacon.
You provided the sperms. You're the sperm donor. That's
Super
it.
sperm. So, but a lot of Chinese government, Chinese businesses, major manufacturing companies are courting him right now. And he doesn't want to go there. He's like, I didn't learn this to work for them. I learned it to beat them. And so
Now, does the U.S. government, as far as the military, do they have big paying gigs like $1 million? Not everybody's a soldier making 46 grand. I mean, I'm sure they have big paying gigs. If you're in the engineer and designing portion of
it's a good living. But the people that really make the money are the ones that make things for the military, but are not in the military. That's right. That's right. Yes.
So he would work for like a Boeing. Or now, didn't he have a patent that involved some type of coating of a wing system?
Yes, that was. He was working on coatings that would make things faster and
less drag.
Yes, exactly, and it had to do a lot with like the design of like shark skin, which was really interesting. Like some things in the natural world are so effective, and they transferred that into the making and manufacturing.
I got an airplane. It's got shark skin wings. It's so much slippier, more slipperier.
So can you use that material for like a race car?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Hold on. What if an F1 team hired him?
Right.
No, for real.
No,
like Ferrari or McLaren or something like that.
Yes, his
Uncle
designs.
Dan would love that.
Oh yes, and that's one of the sectors that's really big in the design work that he's doing. Is high-end cars and race cars.
Does he
and
ever come
jets.
back? Does he ever come back to home?
Well, he's going to come back for Christmas. If you want to talk to him,
I want to have him on the air.
100%.
I'd love to have him on the air.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Yeah, and I'll send you some of these articles. His latest invention just transformed how 3D printing works. They used to have to put a different material in and supports as they built something with 3D printing, and then they'd have to take that material out. It's waste. It takes time. Now he's figured out a way to use the same material, and by hitting it with different light on the spectrum, he's able to dissolve the supports after the 3D image is made, whatever they're building.
That guy's on a whole nother level.
And then they can recycle the material. It's incredible.
So instead of having to do one material, pull it out, put the next material, Nick has learned through lights and different to infuse that material with the existing material, so they don't have to pull it out.
Right. You can recycle it and build more material, more objects with the same material.
Wow.
It's transformative.
I'm so proud of him.
Me too.
I really am.
Thank you. Yeah, it takes a village. You were part of raising them.
Yeah. Oh.
After shooting Senator Hoffman and his wife,
I'm not happy. I wish they would have killed him, maybe, but I'd like the fact that he's alive and he's going to have to answer questions, because I want to know why you would do this, who you're affiliated with, who you're alliance to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or let me, he might get off in prison because he knows too much.
That's right.
Belter traveled to the home of another Minnesota state representative in Maple Grove, Minnesota. Video surveillance showed that Belter rang the doorbell at the state representative's house at approximately 2:24 a.m. on Friday night. Again, he was dressed as a law enforcement officer.
I got to tell you something, man. It really makes me not want to open the door so quickly for somebody that's identified themselves as the police.
Yeah.
Because, chances are all of us in this room have not done something that would warrant that. So if somebody's knocking on my door and they're saying police, I'm going to be like, how do I know you're the police? Can I call the police department and ensure the fact that indeed you're supposed to be, because I got a gun on the other side of this wall and I saw what happened in Minneapolis and I'm not going to let it happen. You could be a fake cop, buddy.
Didn't they say not to open the door unless there's two cops?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Definitely
I
there
think so,
after
yes.
this incident,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Wearing a tactical vest and body armor, carrying a handgun and a flashlight, and wearing...
And listen, we all know whether we've done something for the cops to come knocking at our door, right?
Right.
I mean, Lummy, if you ran over a family of 6 in an SUV on your way home, chances are that might be a valid stop, but otherwise not.
Yeah.
That same hyper-realistic silicone mask. Again, the images, as you can see on the screen, are haunting. Fortunately, the state representative was not home. She and her family were gone on vacation, and so Belter left. Belter then traveled to the home of a Minnesota state senator who lived in New Hope, Minnesota. He parked in the street in that same black...
Why are these politicians' addresses easily available to find?
Yeah,
I know
that's a good question.
I know in Florida that if you're retired law enforcement or something like that, they hide your information on the property appraiser's website so that you just can't go tracking them down.
Well, I mean, this guy, he was involved in...
Yeah, you're right.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, he had a little more intel than the average guy, right?
Yeah, but I can't imagine it's too hard to find that stuff.
Black SUV with the police license plate. At about 2:36 a.m. on Friday night, after learning of the shooting of Senator Hoffman, New Hope Police dispatched an officer to conduct a wellness check on the state senator.
This was good cop work. This was really good cop work.
It looks like he did it. He used, it says data broker sites.
Oh.
When the New Hope officer arrived at the scene, she saw Belter's black SUV parked down the block.
Somebody just tell this guy, quit hitting the podium so hard with your hands. It's making the audio sound bad.
With the lights on. The New Hope police officer believed that Belter was a police officer who had been dispatched to the scene to check on the status of the state senator. The New Hope police officer pulled up next to Belter in his car, rolled down her window, and attempted to speak with him. Belter did not respond. According to the officer, he just sat there and stared straight ahead. So the New Hope police officer, who had been dispatched to the scene, proceeded to the state senator's home, and she waited for other law enforcement to arrive. When they did, by the time they did, Belter had left the scene.
On foot, right, Lemmy?
No, I think this is when he, that was at a different house. He went to a different house.
So there was a opportunity for them. So they followed him in the car?
No, but that's what they're saying. She kind of went to the house and then he took off.
Right, but I thought he took off on foot.
That was after he got into a police shootout.
Oh, okay. So this was prior to all that.
Yes.
Oh, so we didn't even know that.
Yeah. Surprised that well, yeah, I'm not surprised, but
what? That
she let him take, like trying to get his attention and he wasn't like looking or doing anything.
And then she was like, oh, whatever, you know.
Yeah, just kept going, thought it was a cop.
Well, and she called for backup.
Yeah,
why didn't she get out and blast him?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll close out the show next. Stand by.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
It's 2 minutes. It's 1:50. We'll talk about ice going broke. Wow. Didn't we play the Trump Mobile?
Yeah, it was yesterday after show.
We did, didn't we, Lemmy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. How did Antani's pitching debut go?
Just one inning, gave up a run, no strikeouts.
He didn't give up a run?
He gave up one run.
Didn't he hit 100 one time?
Yeah, once or twice, I think they said.
Now, let me. Has this guy been drafted yet, or is the Major League Draft coming, and this guy will probably be the number one guy overall?
No, he's not number one at all.
No, he's not.
No, Ethan Holiday's going number one.
Yeah.
Is he? Where's he play?
High school.
High school.
Yeah.
What? Pitcher.
Infielder.
Where from?
I don't know where his dad.
Right, Cali. Is that rare for a high schooler to go number one?
No.
Has there been?
Josh Hamilton was a high schooler.
Hasn't there been like Robin Yount? There's been like a handful of guys that went right from high school and never went to the minors.
No, Robin Yount went to the minors.
No, he didn't. Check it out.
I don't know if anybody's skipping the minors.
Then Dave Winfield never went to the minors.
Winfield never went to the minors?
No, because he played college for a year.
Oh.
USC, I think it was.
Look at Robin Yount. And if I'm right, you can suck it.
Oh, I'm not saying you're not. I just wasn't sure about the other.
Check it out. I could be wrong though, and I have to suck it.
Thanks for the Nick love. You definitely are going to get with him when he comes down because.
Oh, I love that kid.
There's going to be some good stuff for all of us, honestly. He's going to need all of our help.
Now, will he when he graduates? Will he relocate down here till he figure out what he's doing?
What he really was feeling like ostracized. You know, the whole family's always been here, and he was feeling. And so we have a company that I'm targeting right now that's in marine construction, and the next phase of that universe is 3D printing seawalls, and so that may be our groove. And
What type of seawall?
3D print the seawalls.
For real?
Yes.
Out of what? Concrete?
No, they're made out of vinyl now and composites.
Oh, that's right.
You know how they interlock like those groovy ones?
Right.
You know, and so God knows there's so much work in that sector. If you believe
And if people could, if a new seawall cost $12,000 instead of $40,000, right?
Yes. These will last longer. There's no steel, so they
Did you
won't
look it
fail.
up?
Yeah.
What?
Just read it. You're wrong.
Read the fucking art. Read the story.
Well, he played for the Newark co-pilots for 64 games.
Okay, well then you're right. I'm wrong.
No, but you could technically be right because it was
No,
short season.
64 fucking games is not going right from the.
But he played when he was 18. So.
But I think it's like Dave Winfield might be the only dude. I mean, unless there's others.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Winfield, they count because he went to college, so he didn't go right out of high school. I mean, there's guys from high school.
Has there ever been a person that went right from high school?
No.
Wow.
No,
that blows
never.
my mind.
No.
But there has been basketball. Kobe did it.
Sure.
Daryl
Yes.
Dawkins.
Yeah. Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, those guys all went right from.
They did. I'm shocked there's not one.
And I don't think, Seth, there's ever been a guy in football that's gone right from fucking high school.
No, you're not allowed to.
It looks like Bob Horner might have done it.
Bob Horner from the Braves.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Oh, Lummy, I would love to squeeze 2 or 3 more stories in before I say goodbye. You troll-ass bitches. But instead, I'm just going to say goodbye. And let everybody else figure out the time, whether I'm short or long on time. You bunch of troll-ass bitches. Clem and Kush next. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
Me, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
You're wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I repeat hello.